Hey!
Hey!
Hello!
Welcome one and all, welcome Avantris fam to Legends of Avantris episode, I don't know, something.
33.
33, wow. The double threes is a lucky number.
Hard to imagine. Holy shit.
Yeah, we
That's
are,
a lot of sessions.
we're the Legends of Avantris crew. We're 6 nerds, 7 nerds that embarrass ourselves for your entertainment.
Hey Wiley.
Hey.
Sing Songbird.
What's up, everybody? Everybody, good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. So, we are a bunch of friends who started playing D&D into 2015. We've been playing this exact same campaign since then, and it's been over 2.5 years at this point. And we play 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. We do mostly rules as written, but we have a lot of rules as fun, rules intended, and a lot of homebrewing. So feel free to call us out if I'm doing anything wrong, but I may just be homebrewing. So I have a lot of wiggle room there. So, I guess announcements. This week you probably noticed and you're like, what? Where's Feywild? Huh? It's a Monday. Well, because we're doing Prime today, obviously, because we're doing Prime, and Wednesday will be Feywild. And that is because we are going to Otakon. Wow! So Otakon.
So what is Otakon?
So what is Otakon, you may ask? It's an anime convention in Washington D.C.
What is anime, Mike?
I don't. Just like my Chinese cartoons.
Japanese.
It's It's Tibetan basket weaving. So we're going to be at Otakon. So if you're there, if you're in the DC area, you're at Otakon, you see us, come say hi. Let us know in Discord. We can hang out. If not, we'll see you next time. We'll still be doing Wednesday, but any case will be driving down to the area on Wednesday. So we will have all of us local folk playing Feywild on Wednesday.
So we're just swapping.
We're just swapping.
We're going to have a little bit of a, next couple of weeks are going to be kind of wacky, but
summer's always wacky.
Stay tuned.
Summer is always wacky. So, with that, I think that's all of the housekeeping that we have, right? Yeah.
I think so.
So, we'll go around and introduce the players real quick. We have Nikki playing Sylvie Flickerwicket, a Gnome Warlock. We have Rishi playing Rodic Stonehearth, a Dwarf Fighter. We have Kelsey playing Annulin Mossgrove, a Wood Elf Ranger. And then we have Andy playing Vander's True Strike, a High Elf Rogue. He's also the Great _Andini in chat. He also streams. I think you're going to get back to streaming a lot more. World of Warcraft, Diablo, Hearthstone. I don't even know what you stream anymore. But
Video game.
We can hear you.
Don't even know what I stream anymore, Mike, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, follow him. It's a great time. He's really fun to watch. So sub to him, or follow him, rather. I don't even know how Twitch works.
Like and subscribe.
Like and please subscribe. And with that, I think we're ready to get into what happened last time. So, and just dive right into it. So, last session, you had heard the ravings of Fergus Flamesighter, the dwarf former bounty hunter, who wasn't quite right in the head, a big fan of conspiracy theories, and he was in jail. You heard his theory that Hissy, a halfling cleric that had been in Vander's party, was apparently alive, and they thought that she was dead. So the party kind of was dwelling on this news. They tried to get Fergus out. They found out that he wouldn't be able to be released from jail, at least for like around a week. And so the party really just enjoyed their downtime. They went and they saw Emiria Devil Dance, who was also in Vander's old bounty hunting crew, and who's not a huge fan of Avantris. They gave her a boat with some Crocfolk crew, and kind of started mending things up. And they met with Seamus and Orpheus again, basically at Fergus's old hideout in the Kench, the kind of shady district in Gullhaven. And really just kind of deciding like what to do. They enjoyed the rest of their downtime. They poked around. They found out. They also got dinner with Reeve Brachma. I forgot that was the big set piece there. A dinner with Reeve Brachma, the youngest of the Silver Serpents, in his late teens or early 20s. Young guy, kind of awkward. Who had been under the wing of Alphonse LeBlanc, the alchemist, who was kind of the de facto head of all the Silver Serpents, the rulers of Gullhaven. and they kind of asked him subtly and maybe not so subtly some questions about Alphonse. Found out that his parents had unfortunately died at sea on doing some business with Alphonse, and then they also heard the tale of Laudna Gilder, her husband Bromald, who was the Silver Serpent before his murder at the hands of the dwarf Swedgen Kindlegem, who you probably don't know, but he featured very heavily in the first non-streamed arc of our campaign, and so the party all knows quite well. And so all of these different things are coming out, and so they enjoyed the rest of their downtime, kind of looking for answers, trying to figure out what they're going to do, and then they finally got to the ceremony, the crowning ceremony, and where they were handed keys to the city, effectively, but they were actually keys to their own mansion. And they also were given a small galleon, fully crewed, as well as a personal magical item from Vito's personal stock, each of them. And after a rousing speech from Amalia Theramore, the military captain, the military general, admiral, leader of the Sea Eagles, which is the military group that basically keeps the peace in Goldhaven, there was a grand parade, and the city really just kind of took time to celebrate them, and really just celebrated them as the heroes of Goldhaven that they hadn't seen really in centuries. And so that was where we ended the last session. You are all, well, I guess I'll just kind of get back into the session, shall we? Ooh. So
I'm expecting.
You all have just been given your magical items, and the crowd is still cheering incredibly. There's a little bit of dispersing of the crowd as the ceremony seems to be over. Most of it was really just the kind of parade up front and the speeches, and you all are being guided by Sea Eagles in line with the rest of the Silver Serpents, the ones that are present. As you are all walking along, you can see that there is on either side of you, a very solid line of guards, and people are desperately just trying to stick their hands out and just wave at you and try to touch your shoulder or give you a high five. And
Sylvie's mage handing, high fiving as many people as she can.
Just you get a lot of mage handies flying around, and
well, there are children in the audience.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mature stream. And
what, mage handy, like a high five?
Yeah.
Mage hand handy.
That's not what a mage handy means.
Oh, okay. Ask Santa Claus.
Did we get our vestiges, Mike? Are these our vestiges?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not saying I won't steal vestiges. I just haven't stolen them yet. It's a phenomenal concept, though. So you are all walking. People are cheering. They're screaming, "Thank you!" There are some very attractive young ladies that are looking at you, Avantris, throwing various undergarments at you, and there are dudes of all variety, young and old, looking at Annulin and Sylvie, hooting and hollering, and some people kind of nodding at Rodek and thinking, "Oh, all right."
Savage!
So
it's fine.
So you all are you're making your way through the crowd as they seem to be guiding you through the grand square in Noble Garden, down one of the promenades towards the Dreamline Estate that you've now been gifted. So as you are all walking, Vito kind of shuffles up. He's still holding that satchel where he was just pulling just magical items out of. You assume it's similar properties to a bag of holding. And he walks up to all of you and he leans in and says, "This may be due to my forgetfulness, but do you have the Eyes of the Abyss? I don't believe I got that back from you."
No, I'm pretty sure the Ganji took it with them.
Is that true?
Yeah. Remember? He grabbed it and he said, "I'm taking this with me, but I don't need the dragon egg."
Oh, that's right. No, he did say... That's right.
Yeah.
We're not lying. We're out of character.
No, we're
No,
not.
no,
not
no.
lying to
He
you.
took the crown from the temple, not the helmet. Not
That's
the
what I
Eyes of the
thought.
Abyss.
I'm
It's just
pretty
sit-
sure you said Eyes of the Abyss.
No. He took the crown from the dragon, from the ruins of Ninsar. So the Eyes of the Abyss is sitting in your.
The one that we peeled off that like animated construct's head.
Yes. Yep.
Oh, so he took that.
Yes, he took
Okay.
that.
No, Sylvie, I think you may be thinking of something else.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the cauldron helmet that I sat in, and told Titania we couldn't be friends anymore.
Do I have it in the bag of holding?
Yes.
You may be right. Okay.
Don't show me
Ah!
that!
What?
Are you all right?
Oh,
Are you
I lost
quite?
my best friend when I sat in that.
Let me check. Hold on. You might be right. He may have taken it. Let me look. And I open it. Oh, here it is. And I pull it out.
I can't believe I was so forgetful. Thank you very much. And he grabs it very carefully out of your hands, and he holds it in one hand and undoes the flap and sticks it in. It disappears into the bottomless, seemingly bottomless reaches of this satchel. And he says, well, thank you. I'm glad I was able to get that back, and I'm sure you're not going to do anything nefarious with it. You brought it all the way back here, but I need to put it under extra high surveillance now that I know what it does.
So you do know its properties then?
Well, in all of my research, yes, it's a planar. It's connected to the elemental plane of water.
I don't know if we've told you yet, but Sylvie was able to use it to banish...
No,
No?
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I'll tell
Suppose
you
we
right
need
now.
to tell Vito. It's pretty important.
Well, Amalia told me that you were sitting in it, and
Oh, so you already knew.
oh no, she told me in insane detail. I asked her to tell it to me like 15 different times. It was very exciting.
Now, do you know about the sacrifice piece of it?
No, I don't recall that.
Right, well, we were told by, I believe, Orpheus, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it required...
No, did you? I don't know.
DM, we were told by Orpheus, right?
Yes.
Orpheus told us that to use it required a great sacrifice, and Sylvie was able to use it without
Why
seemingly
do you keep bringing this
sacrifice,
up?
because you still have your power. So I believe Orpheus was either lying or misinformed. So
As you say this to him, he strokes his mustache a little bit, kind of twirls it. You can kind of see some of the wax crinkling as he pulls at his mustache, and he says, "I don't know anything about that, but truth be told, how the ancient dragonborn used the helmet was lost to the ages, and it just sat in my study. I didn't think anything of it. In my vault, that is."
all right, well, we were able to put it to great use, but it's all yours now. So
Well, thank you.
enjoy.
Thank you. And you said there wasn't a sacrifice.
Not that we're aware of.
Well, a 2-bit sorcerer. What does he know? You know what I'm saying?
Do we? Anyway, thank you very much for these items. I mean, this is incredible.
It really is.
It's
I can't wait to shoot stuff.
it is the least I could do. I mean, I really wanted to give you more than that, but I thought it might be a little overwhelming. And, traveling around with that many magical items, so then I was like, well, Reeve and Amalia, what if we gave him a mansion and a ship, too? That would be cool.
Awfully generous, and we're very grateful.
I was able to get everyone chipped in. Everyone was more than happy to provide that. You've all earned it, and I'm so excited for you to see it.
All right, we'll lead the way.
Absolutely. And he kind of goes kind of towards the front, and as you continue to walk, you see the beautiful manors and estates get a little bit more lavish. And you notice that you're kind of walking towards one of the rows of estates that is kind of closer towards the cliffs, closer to the view of the sea and the horizon. And you turn down a street, and Amalia walks up beside you. And you can see that she's kind of shaking, kind of breathing a little bit heavily, and her eyes are a little wide. As she walks up beside you, she says, did I do okay?
You did great.
That's wonderful.
Thank you. I was very nervous. I usually don't. I mean, I give speeches to my men, but usually the speeches to the whole town, that's usually Alphonse's thing. Speaking of Alphonse, I was so nervous, I forgot to give you this beforehand. And she produces a scroll from a pouch on her side, and it's very neatly wrapped parchment, bound and sealed with a red wax with an entwined serpent eating its own tail as the seal. And she hands that to whoever's closest. She pulls it out with her one hand and hands it to whoever's closest. Rodak hands it to you, and she says, "Alphonse finally managed to get a courier back, and this is for you all. And I do have good news that your friend shall be released this evening. Where shall we deliver him?"
Probably to our house first. Our new house.
Okay.
Well, I agree. I'm worried Fergus may put up some sort of a fight or something. He likes his hideout, and I don't know how he would react to being out in the public and coming to our new home. I don't know what to do here.
I just feel like it's safer if we escort him to his home.
I agree. I'm still worried about that as well.
So you would like to come collect him at Blood Anchor this evening, is what you're saying?
Might be for the best.
Okay, very well. Well, I shall do that, and I want to thank you again. I meant every word I said in that speech, and more. And I'm sure there are so many people across all of Gullhaven who are as inspired by the four of you as I am. And you've done more than you could ever know, and I just want to say thank you again. And I'm sorry that all we can do is a mansion and a ship.
This is far more than we ever would have expected, just for doing what we thought was right. So,
I love
please.
mansions. So I'm like totally fine with this because I love mansions.
It's true she does, and honestly, us having access to a ship is incredible. But how? Let's say we wanted to sail somewhere. How do we go about using it? Do we have to let you know?
All you have to do is be docked at the harbor. You can let me know. You can also let Captain Isaacs know. He is the captain of the Knight's Patience, one of my most efficient captains, and he'll be able to get you all set up in a matter of hours and be ready to sail.
All right. Well, we will keep that in mind.
I hope you find it useful.
Sure we will. It's given where we're headed next, we may just use it.
Very well. Well, enjoy your mansion.
Thank you.
And so she filters off, and so Rodak, you're holding the letter from Alphonse. And as you are walking around, you kind of turn not really a corner, but kind of curve around one of the larger promenades, and you see a huge manor on a raised bit of hill, a small stream running in from the mainland beneath the wall into this estate, emptying out onto the sea. Atop of this hill is a house. It is beautifully ornate and eccentric, with kind of shades of purples, like soft purples and greens, painted onto the wood, with three large stories stacked on top of each other. and an elaborate garden that spreads all of the way around the house from what you can see. And as you make your way closer, you can see that there are little towers and turrets spread across this building, and you see a large metal gate, heavy metal gate with very thick, sturdy stone pillars that reinforce this gate. Above the doors of this gate, you see letters in metal that spell out Dreamline Estate.
Well, they named it wrong. It's supposed to say Chateau Sylvie, but I guess since it was free, it's fine. But we're gonna have to figure out a way to change the sign, because when I tell all of my friends where I live and I give them the address, that's gonna confuse them. Why are you laughing?
Well, just don't tell anyone the address just yet. It's brand new. Let us break it in for at least a few weeks.
Well, fine, I guess I won't have any guests for a while. But I have a lot of friends who I could invite over, so that's not why it's okay.
So, I mean, it doesn't look exactly like this, but this is kind of the idea of the...
Oh my god, we live at Hogwarts Castle!
That's
it's
a literal mansion.
beautiful.
That's awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, you see kind of the gold filigree, the various turrets and towers spread throughout. There's definitely an eccentricity to this design. You get the sense that the architecture was, not quite as standard. You know that there are a lot of buildings that are quite exotic and unique. You want to, yeah.
Oh, do you want to look at it?
Oh yeah, I saw it on the camera.
And you get a sense that
Looks like the
Vito's
mansion.
estate is very unique and elaborate, and this is maybe even more whimsical. And you see a row of large lampposts and perfectly sculpted hedges that line the main pathway up to the large double door. And as you approach the gate, it's flanked by sea eagles that open the gate for you, and
I'm gonna take off and run past the sea eagles and run up to the door and try to get my key in first.
okay, you take off sprinting, and as you are guided by simply a pair of the sea eagles, you see the rest of the serpents stop before your manor, and they wave at you, wave you goodbye, and you hear Vito and says, "I hope you like it." And you see.
I love it! I love it! I love it! I love it!
You sprint up to the heavy, dark wooden doors, and you see the large handles and are this polished silver and a keyhole that seems to fit the key that you're holding. You manage to run up to it, and you stick the key in, and you turn it, and you hear it as the door unlocks.
Alright, I want to push the door open.
You push the door open, and it opens to a beautiful foyer with a double staircase going upwards to a small landing and balcony with doors heading on either side of you, and then two going deeper into this manor. There seems to be a hustle and bustle as service staff, you remember, that was provided for you, are kind of running around, and you see one in particular is standing at attention. His head's kind of shaky a little bit. He has this wild white hair and these thick spectacles, and he's dressed in a very elegant serving man outfit, a three-piece suit with a vest, and he's standing there with these very eccentric color, like these bright purple gloves, as he steps up to you, and he says, "Welcome to the Dreamline Estate. This is your new home now."
Oh, well, thank you. What's your name?
Oh, my name is Gus Langtree. I've heard all about you masters and mistresses. Is that what you prefer to be called?
I'm truly at a loss for words here. Maybe just give us a moment or to look around the manor, and maybe we'll get back to you on the name thing. I'm Avantris. You can just call me Avantris.
Okay, my name is Gus Langtree.
The name's Rodek. It's a pleasure to meet you, Gus.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Hi, I'm Sylvia. It's nice to meet you, good old G-Tree.
Oh, G-Tree, that's the new one, but you can call me whatever you want. I keep the house. I run a very tight ship around here, and if you have any trouble with any of the staff, you just tell me and I'll discipline them and it'll be fine.
If I have questions, you'll answer them, right?
Any question you have.
Great. Is this called a foyer or a foyer? It's a pressing question.
Well, I always heard foyer, but I ain't no literature scholar.
Okay, thanks. It's still up for debate.
Well, it starts with the letter S, and that's my favorite letter. What's your favorite letter?
Glitter.
Glitter. Well, I never heard of a letter like that, but I only know common, so I guess that's okay.
Wonderful. Where's my bedroom, G-Tree?
Oh, well, all of the bedrooms, the masters, are all on the third floor.
Okay, wonderful. I'm going to head up there.
Well, could you show us around?
Before we begin, is there a basement? Does a manor have a basement, or is this just the first floor?
No, yeah, of course there's a basement. Now, what kind of mansion doesn't have a basement?
Well, I don't know. I haven't been in many mansions, to be honest with you. But how much room is down there? Is it a small basement? Is it the same as the foundation?
It's a sizable basement. It ain't the whole foundation. There's not like a huge man cave and a billiard hall down there. But there's enough for storage and a sitting room and an alchemy room and maybe a dungeon if you wanted. Yeah, I don't know. I don't judge.
If you could just point me to the direction of the basement, that would be great.
Oh, okay. Well, it's right around here. And so I'll show you to the room. I'll fetch some folks.
I would really like the room with the biggest tower.
Okay, that's the one at the front. Yeah, I'll show it to you. So,
yes, I like towers.
Okay, that
Well,
sounds.
why don't we take the tour and we'll just let them show us around? Is that right? Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine, but I still am going to take the one with the biggest tower.
That's fine. That's all right.
So follow me and I'll give you the grand tour. It's been a while since the old master of the state passed away, but it's so good to see new life in here that isn't just me and all the staff that I run the tight ship. It's better to run a tight ship for people that you're actually serving. I don't know if you've ever been servants before. Yeah, my name is. Go ahead.
My name's Annulin, and I'd like to know if the old master died in here anywhere, particularly any bedrooms that I might be in.
No, he didn't die here. He wasn't that old or sickly. He died while he was away on business.
So, are there any ghosts?
Well, not that I've seen, but...
I want to cast Minor Illusion to pull up a ghost behind Annulin that's going, woo!
Well, there you have it, folks. A ghost. Right there. I guess I've never been observing. Maybe you brought the ghost with it. Who's to say? Well, here we go. And... he takes...
Wait, Rodek, before I head to the basement, do you think there might be room for us to keep Ramby and Piccolo and the Sunny and Scramble here in the manor?
Do we have stables?
Well, yeah, of course we have stables.
Great. Can you take care of a two-headed vulture, a giant ram, and a piccolo?
Are the
It's
giant...
an act speak. Her name is Piccolo, but yes.
Is a giant piccolo, a giant ram, and a two-headed vulture with you guys?
It will be, yeah.
Then yes, we can do that.
Wonderful.
Maybe we could send some of the manor people to fetch the animals for us.
They're called staff. Can you send some of the manor people to go get our mounts?
Yeah, sure. Just give them a detailed description and where to go, and I'll send someone to go get it for sure.
Can we just write them a note and then give them money to
No,
Hey,
you don't have
guys.
to give us any money. Okay, we don't accept tips. If you do,
Well, there might be a bill at the stables. I just want to make sure we're covered.
if you give us tips, we're gonna throw it into the fish pond, and that's good luck. And so, and I don't know about you, but I like feeling lucky. even if you don't believe in it.
I very much believe in luck. I would say that's my own personal religion.
Oh, well, I've never been a religious type, but that sounds like a good religion to me. Maybe I'll grab a pamphlet next time you have one.
I'll work on that, thank you. And then proceed to go to the basement. I just want to go to the basement.
Thanks.
I wonder how we fire him.
He's being so nice.
And so this isn't the exact layout, but I have a kind of a general layout. He takes you to the basement, and this is separated into a long circular spiral staircase downward, and it's separated into 4 main rooms, with one of the larger rooms being storage. It's one is full of tons of barrels and crates, and you see a dry pantry and all sorts of things. You see some staff making their way up to what you assume to be some sort of kitchen. And you also find what seems to be a general sitting area. There are a few chairs and couches and a rug, and what seem to be places to mount either trophies or heads of game on the wall, but currently vacant. And he then guides you to a long room that has long tables and the remnants of what seem to be some kind of like alchemical works, some files, some shelving that you would get a sense would probably be used for storing reagents and the like. And then you see a doorway off, and you see that those are all the servants' quarters. That the servants live down here, and that's kind of a hallway down, but he doesn't take you back there. And then the final of these 4 kind of main components is what seem to be a kind of a small miniature armory, and this is you can actually see that there is a little grate on the floor, and there is just a little stream that you kind of seen running through this basement, as this kind of water is running through, and you see that there are racks for weapons and armor, but nothing. You see maybe a couple swords here and there, but it seems to be mostly unused.
Well, here it is. I don't know why they have a stream running through a place where there's lots of metal. We could patch that up, but the old owner was, he was an old coot like me.
We can discuss that in the future, but for now, how big is the sitting area that you mentioned with the chairs and the couches and the?
It's probably like a 15 by 15 room.
Perfect. Maybe we could rearrange the furniture in the sitting room. Maybe relocate it. I need a good 15 by 15 square just kind of cleared out of the way, and then I'm gonna need some time for myself to do some drawing. And if you could just maybe don't touch anything that I do here. Just keep this area clear, and that's all I'm gonna need. Just that's about it.
Okay, that sounds just fine. And well, there's.
What are you doing, Avantris?
I'm just setting up a teleport point.
Oh, I thought you were just trying to, take this room for yourself without asking.
No,
Clearly, Shelby and I need it for dance practice.
That's fine, as long as we don't mess up the circle that I'm about to draw.
I want to put on water shoes
Would that
and then dance in a chalk circle.
would there be enough room in the alchemy room for the circle?
Well, it sounded to me like it was kind of more like a hallway. I like the idea of keeping it with the alchemy stuff, but at the same time, I don't want it being stepped on or disheveled in any way.
You got the sense that it was a wide room, but it was also just long, and that you get the sense there was probably a lot of workspace in different areas. But at the end of the room, make an investigation check for me.
I got a lot. 27.
27. you actually see the faint remnants of what seemed to be an etched, like not just carving, but like etched into the stone, a teleportation circle of some kind, or
Well, I'm glad whatever great being created this planet and this plane for us gave me the idea to take a look at the end of the alchemy room, because I found something fantastic.
Well, what? Don't
It
keep me on
appears
the
to
edge
be
of
an
my seat.
alchemy circle for teleportation. So I'll just sit here and do what I have to do to set this up, and the rest of you guys can go take a look at the house and fill me in later.
And then so this, if you see, and he takes you to the armory, it also functions as a dungeon if you want to use it. You can kind of see that the armory is separated into different compartment areas with kind of heavy metal bars and heavy doors that lock, and so it can be repurposed if you're have any, I don't know, want to do any weird stuff. I don't judge.
We do actually have a prisoner. I wonder how cruel it would be to keep Orpheus down here for such a long time.
Well, it's certainly an opportunity, and at least him being a little closer will make me feel better than him being down in the Kench, so...
Maybe we'll talk to Seamus, we're using the rocks, and bring him over here as quickly as we can.
Well, we have to go bring Fergus home at some point, right?
Yeah, but I hate leaving Seamus all the way down in the Kench. This place is so nice. He can use my room if need be for as long as he wants.
Well, I'm pretty sure there are probably tons of rooms. We could just give him his very own room.
We can afford it, that'd be fine. I just figured I'd offer my own room first, since, you know, he is essentially my family.
There's a lot of guest rooms. There's the old master used to keep a lot of people from in and out of town staying here. Big parties and lots of people staying over. So there's plenty of guest room. That's most of the second floor is guest rooms. You can also repurpose those.
So who, if you don't mind me asking, who was the old master?
Oh well, his name was Wisenheimer. He was a little gnome fella, a wizard.
He was a gnome wizard named Wisenheimer.
Yeah, don't ask me how he got the name. At least that's what he called himself.
That's probably the name his mommy gave him. That's how gnomes
actually
work.
know, I don't have written down what needs to be done to use the pocket watch and create the circle. So whatever I have to do that, I figure I thought it took some time to put it together.
You know that I'll just kind of say this, and this is a little bit of a homebrewy thing that that I have. So basically, to create a permanent teleportation circle, it takes doing the same circle, and then you would use the pocket watch in order to do that every single day for a year, in order to create a permanent one. But I homebrew it that if you can use it and you use really the finest primo stuff, which will cost what is it, 1,500 gold pieces of materials, then you can create a permanent one in one go.
All right, everyone. So I'm going to be taking a sabbatical to work on this, and I'll see you guys in a year.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure.
I don't suppose we have $1,500 gold pieces of materials.
No, not in
spare.
material. Well, unless that chalk that we found is worth 1,500 gold.
It's unlikely.
We'll do.
I know that we have some chalks. I don't know how to get chalk appraised.
Mike, do we know if the chalk that we found in Orpheus' stuff is the really primo stuff?
It looks pretty primo.
Why don't you try the chalk that you found and see?
I guess
what
my
works?
question, from a mechanical standpoint, is if I were to do this with the chalk that we took from Orpheus, and let's say it wasn't up to snuff, does it just fade over time? Is that the idea? One day it just would stop working?
So the idea is that you can only teleport to a permanent teleportation circle.
So it won't even work.
So you just use the spell and it immediately does it, but you would need to kind of connect it, and you can just do it in place to kind of cast one charge of it. You don't have to go anywhere, but that's basically how you set it up.
All right. Well, then I suppose I'll try using the chalk that we stole from Orpheus, and we'll see how it goes from there. Like I said, if you guys would like to continue the tour, I'll be happy to work on this for a while and catch up with you soon.
All right. Well, you have at it. Gus, continue.
Okay, well, I guess you'll stay down here. Don't worry, there's no rats, though. I hate rats.
So he guides you back through the rest of the. Hold on one sec. I actually need to double check to make sure the cost is right. Sorry, guys.
Please hold.
Please hold. So anyway, he guides you through the rest of to the main floor, and this is the largest floor by far. And so you leave the foyer, and you see that two of the doors heading out towards out to the two doors lead to this grand room that seems to also to function as a ballroom. It's very elegantly decorated. You see a large either piano or harpsichord on it, and then you see these beautiful windows all along that lead out to this courtyard, sizable courtyard that seems to have a number of trees and a little a creek running into a large fish pond in the center. You see that there's a couple rocks, and it seems to be very tranquil. You see a few birds fluttering around. And actually, I will. I don't know why I still have this music going. Apologies.
So then you said that there's a stream that goes through the courtyard?
Yeah.
And this is on the first level, right?
Yes. So, there's a large courtyard area, and he guides you around and kind of connected to this large kind of general ballroom is a very long dining room with a huge heavy wooden table with chairs that you could probably seat at least 30 people. And all sorts of different areas for decorations. And you see a few different statues and paintings here, but it seems to be relatively sparse. You get the sense of that this Wisenheimer had either taken a lot of stuff with him, or a lot of it had been cleared out after his death. And you also see that there's a kitchen. He doesn't really take you back there. You see a lot of staff bustling around back there. You see an additional pantry. You then also see no fewer than 3 different lounges, all with different aesthetics. One with kind of more of an oaky or hunting lodge sort of thing. One that is kind of more of a dark, rich purples with kind of strange, kind of magical looking runes, kind of all painted all over the walls. And then one that seems to be kind of this brighter kind of blues and golds that includes a table for cards as well as a large billiard table.
The purple one?
And the blue one, and the blue and gold. So that's kind of more of your leisure. So you also find that there are 2 studies and a very large library.
Ooh.
Large library with just a ton of books. You can see that some of the shelves have been cleared out, but there's a sitting area in the library, and what else is there? He then takes you out to the courtyard area, and he shows you as you step outside. You kind of feel the wind whip up a little bit and kind of shake the leaves gently as as the sun kind of hits your face, and you hear the chirping of birds as you're far back enough on the cliffs that you're not getting totally pelted by the wind, but it's just enough of a pleasant breeze. And you see kind of on the entire northern side of the house are just windows as far as the eyes can see. And you can see that there are some low walls with a heavy metal gate, but that does not disturb your view of the ocean. That just this beautiful view of the horizon as it just stretches out as far as you can see. And you are then guided. Those are the main features of the ground level, and you see that there are a few kind of separate rooms up for storage here and there, and some empty rooms. And where he's like, "Well, we have a few spaces. We don't do anything. If you wanna repurpose them, we can. Just we haven't had any use for it." And he takes you to the second floor, and this seems to be mostly bedrooms. You find an additional study, as well as 6 different guest rooms. And it also includes in one of the rooms that is in the study, or the rooms, seems to be some kind of it goes out towards where you can kind of triangulate as one of the turrets going up, and there's actually a skylight with that seems to be some kind of observatory to kind of look up at the stars. In the turret, yeah, and this is on the second level. And this is one of the lower turrets.
This is fucking awesome.
And he takes you up to the 3rd floor, and he said, "This is where all the magic happens." And he takes you up to the top floor, and there are 4 large double doors in this long, elegant hallway. And he says, "These are all master bedrooms. The old master, he liked to kind of mix it up every evening, and just whatever mood he felt like was how he decorated it." And you can see that along, he opens up each one, and each of these rooms is very, very elegantly decorated. And one is kind of these rich reds, one is these rich purples, another is kind of this rich green color, and then another is kind of this rich blue color. And so, hey, thank you.
Thanks for the cheers.
Thanks for the cheers. And they are all basically all about the same size, all with these huge beds covered in these plush pillows, and all with these like armoires and sitting areas and mirrors and dressers that are, and they each are connected to a bathroom, and they all have a bell system where you can kind of see all these wires running along, that if you pull, it'll ring kind of bells all over the mansion. And so as soon as he shows you all these different rooms, he kind of takes you out to the hallway and says, "So that's really the grand tour. Like I said, we can really repurpose anything you don't want to use, or if you come up with any ideas."
So which one did you want?
Whichever one has a tower in it.
That is, so you can kind of see that they're across the way. One is out towards the back of the house, and the other is towards the front. And one of the ones is stationed where there is it's one that's kind of covered in the rich purples, and this one also has a skylight in it. And then there is a turret where there is there's a little step way up, and there's a comfy little nook with a bunch of little pillows up there, and you can actually see there's a little mini bookcase.
It is gnome size, just for me.
You actually get the sense that it may be gnome size. It's relatively small. I mean, any one of you could sit up there, but it would feel a little bit cramped.
Oh, this is so big, and I don't feel cramped at all.
That
Love it.
that is. And so you then find that the other one with the turret is the one with the greens, and that one is a little bit smaller, but it looks over the courtyard, and it's right by a tree, and it kind of has a view over the house, kind of towards a lot of the marshes and the trees out behind Goalhaven, over the walls.
I want that one.
Is there one that looks the most Rodek? Gus?
Well, I don't know.
Which one's lined entirely with stones?
Well, there's a whole lot of heavy stone here, but I mean, both of the other ones have a great view of the ocean. If you're into that sort of thing, if you like it a little bit darker, there's the one that's kind of it's got the darker reds, but the kind of brighter room over here with the blue one. They're kind of more similar than the other two.
Alright, so I look in both. Does one stick out to me more?
I would say that probably the one that there's one that has like this massive view of the ocean that kind of wraps around and can kind of see this large view of Gullhaven, and there's one that has less of a view and is kind of a little bit darker, has more kind of solid dark earthy tones and kind of these kind of deep reds, and a lot more of the stone is exposed. You'd probably prefer that one.
I'll take this one. I don't need to see a whole lot of the ocean. I'm not necessarily a fan.
And then I guess Avantris, the bloom with all of the kind of the rich blues with the huge view of the city as well as the sea.
Happily take whatever's left over when I'm done doing my thing in the basement.
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen it yet. That's right. And so, do you have the inks with you? Is that what you're doing?
They're in the bag.
So I assumed they were either in the bag or on my person, and I just took the chunks
I'll say
either out of the bag, and I was just doing my thing down there.
You start to use them, and you get the sense that these are very, very fine. You spend your time using it, and you're using that these chalks they wear down very, very quickly, and a lot of these pigments and material are kind of speckled with gold and strange kind of flicks of color that kind of show how expensive it is. For you to kind of get a full proper circle, it takes the full supply of what Orpheus had. And you then, I assume you'll channel the spell. What hour are you going to set it to?
So currently there's none, right? I mean, because the one we erased.
12 you erased. One is still goes to his hideout in Kench.
Right. 2 is erased. So I'm actually going to set the mansion to 12.
Okay. You set it to 12, and you channel the spell. A loud crackle kind of emanates through the basement as all of the ink almost ignites in a magical energy and starts glowing and humming, and it flashes in this kind of beautiful hue of purple, and then kind of returns back down to the sound dissipates, the glow dissipates, and you can kind of see that there's elegantly etched design that you're only able to really produce because of the magic of this pocket watch. And it is this kind of shimmering purple, and you created a permanent teleportation circle. You look at the pocket watch, and the 12 is now lit up with this kind of glowing purple color.
I take a step back and I look at the circle and I say, if only Mom and Pop could see me now.
You have a teleportation circle to your manor.
I'll head upstairs, and is there a door on this alchemy room?
There is just one door to kind of the little minor hallway that
All right, I'll
the
close the door behind me,
Okay.
and then I'll head up to try to find everybody else, wherever they else are in the mansion.
Okay. So he guides you back down through the floors, and if there's anything else that you want to explore while you're here, that's totally fine. I'll have like a full layout of the manor at some point. I just I need to take some time to really think about it and place everything, and that'll take me a while. But you'll have a full layout, and we'll say you all meet in the kind of in the courtyard area, in the little conservatory by the conservatory. There's a conservatory area also, I forgot to mention, where there is just kind of a lot of greenery inside as well as outside. It looks out. It has a view to the sea and a view to the courtyard area. And so he takes you back outside and says,
So, did you do what you needed to do in the basement? I'm not judging.
Oh yeah, no, everything's good. I just asked you to be, and let everyone know, let everyone know who works here that the alchemy room is more or less off limits, and they need to be very careful if they need to enter in that room for any reason.
Okay, I'll let everyone know. I'll have a staff meeting.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go get some lunch prepared if y'all are hungry, and then I'll also fetch all your beasties. How does that sound?
Be lovely, thank you.
Be gentle with them.
Okay, well, I'll send a couple of gentle folk, and that'll be fine, as long as they don't bite. Or if they do, I'll just get new help,
You'll be fine. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay, that's fine.
Make them, tell them to bring some snacks, just in, as like a flying gift.
Sounds good. I'll raid the pantry and we'll see how it goes. I'll let you know when they're here. So feel free to wander around. This is your home. We're just here to make your lives as comfortable as possible.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
And he zips off behind the door, which we assume to be the kitchen, and you are left to your devices.
Is it worth reaching out to Seamus and getting him to bring Orpheus here now?
I think that's fine. There's more room than I know what to do with.
Oh, all right.
My bedroom's bigger than my whole house back at home.
When you live in a tree.
Yeah, but the room's really big. This place is huge. And no, I don't live in a tree. That's racist.
I'm also an elf, if you haven't remembered.
Yeah, but you guys get pretty fancy and I live among the trees, but I don't live in a tree.
Go on, Daniel, and you know that I'm not like those other elves. I'm unique and edgy.
You're a special snowflake, Avantris. You're unlike. It's true. You're truly.
I'm glad you noticed that.
You're unlike any high elf I've ever known. Are you satisfied with your room?
I'd be more satisfied if the sign outside said Chateau Sylvie, but it's fine.
Well, I think let's keep it character neutral.
What does that mean?
Or name neutral. We don't have to name it after any one of us.
Well, it's my house, so it should be named after
it's
me.
our house.
Yes, you're welcome.
And
You could perhaps just point me to my room. I
It's
don't
the
really care
blue
which
one. The one that
Oh, okay.
faces the water.
I'm gonna go check it out and maybe put some things in there, and I'll contact Seamus and let him know how to get here.
Okay. So you go and you check your room. It's as you step up, you get a view, this beautiful view of Goldhaven, probably the best view of Goldhaven in the entire estate. One of the turrets pointing out kind of has this nearly 360 view that looks over the city, and you get on the other side is this beautiful view of the sea, and it feels like home. And Rodak, there's a tower, a turret in yours. It's a little bit modest, but there is a very large fireplace, and there's a lot of stonework, perfectly etched stonework.
ooh, that's nice.
And
All
so you drop off whatever you want to drop off, and you make yourselves comfortable. And is there anything that you wanted to talk to Seamus about, or do you just want to say?
I just, well, actually, I don't know. I guess he wouldn't have been at the ceremony or whatever. I guess if he's watching Orpheus, that wouldn't be the case. But I just want to, fill him in on what happened, let him know where we are, and tell him that we've got a secure holding cell for Orpheus, and we've got a real nice place for him to stay.
You wait a bit, and all of you hear this. And then you hear it chime in, and he says, "Oh no, we're in Noble Garden. I had to sneak out and come see it. I'm so proud. Don't worry, I got him. I got a hood over his head. No one's recognizing him."
I appreciate you saying those kind words, and I can't wait to show you this place. It's unbelievable. I mean, to think where we came from and now where we're at.
It's hard to believe. I mean, I didn't want to say anything until you reached out to me. I don't want to cramp your style. You know how it is. We got your new friends, and you know I don't want to be the old guy that's imposing. You know.
Never. That's never the case. You know that. I'm certainly I don't have any kind of style. We're just we're happy to have you. So come on over.
We'll be right there. And so probably 20-30 minutes later, you get you hear a loud knock, and a sea eagle is at the door, and he tells the staff that opens it, a Seamus Lear and guest, and he looks suspiciously at the hooded figure, and they both walk in, and Orpheus, you can see kind of the little points where his horns curve back, poking through the hood as he steps in, and the sea eagle just turns around and walks and heads back to the gate. And Seamus is, as soon as he steps in, you can see that he's already like visibly in awe as the door opened, but he steps in and his eyes are like saucers as he's looking around, and he's like creeping through, almost like he's probably the most uncomfortable he's ever been. He's like, I don't know how I feel about all this.
I agree with you. I feel the same, but please try to be comfortable and make yourself at home. You can pick any guest room you'd like.
This is a lot less modest than the perch. I feel like I'm dirtying up the place.
Oh no, please, come on. We're all friends here.
He nods and says, "Thank you so much, Fergus," as he walks over, and then you kind of see the hooded figure kind of shaking around, and then the hood flies back, and he looks at Seamus and is like, "Speak for yourself, Grandpa. This is exactly the kind of place that I belong." So
don't worry. We've got a good room for you too, Orpheus.
I hope it's a master. I can't sleep in anything smaller than a queen. I hope you'll accommodate.
Right this way, Orpheus. Come with me.
Oh, we're going to the dungeon, aren't we?
Yes, we are. You're very astute.
It was worth a shot. And he's like looking around, and you kind of notice like a sly look in his eye as he's kind of surveying everything he passes in the house as you guide him down to the armory, and you see a ring of keys hanging on a hook at the armory that you could assume corresponds to the different cells in this area.
Like shackles on the wall that we can like shackle into the wall and like keep him away from the door.
Not yet.
Okay, so we'll just keep him bound, I guess, and gagged and lock him up, and I'll try the keys and see which one work on the cells and get him on in there.
You find one of the cells away from the little river. This is one without a weapon rack in it, and it's fairly bare, and it's relatively small. It's one of the smaller ones in this room, and he steps in, and he turns around and looks at you and says, "So this really is my life now. I keep saying that, but it sets in below. I'm below ground now. I was below ground before, but in an amazing lair, enhanced with the best comfort through thievery and magic. This is such a downgrade."
Yeah, well, get used to it, and we'll see what we can do. Is there any way that I can like inspect the bars and the thing and make sure everything's not rusted out and it's in good shape?
Make an investigation check.
19.
19. Despite this place seeming to be vacant for quite a while, you get the sense that it has been very well maintained. So it does not seem to be rusty. The bars seem to be very sturdy. Not anything risking like falling apart, from what you can tell.
All right, Orpheus. We'll bring you some food, but for now, sit tight. And I'll lock him up and head back upstairs.
Well, have fun enjoying your mansion. I'll be down here alone, and then the door slams.
Oh, I will, and I've still got some of that fine liquor I swiped from your lair.
Thanks for reminding me. Much appreciated. And the door slams, and you make your way back up. you're with the rest of the gang.
Would you like to join me in the lounge as I open this letter from Alphonse?
Absolutely.
All right, so I lead everybody to the oaky like hunting lodge lounge.
Okay.
And I take out the scroll and I say, "All right, let's see what he has to say." And I open it and read it.
As soon as you unseal the letter, there's a little poof of glitter as the seal shrivels up into dust. This potent red dust and kind of drifts off. And there's this elegantly crafted like cursive writing that is of a similar color to the this dust and kind of glows as soon as you unfurl it. And you have this kind of glowing red text, and it says, "Heroes, I knew I sensed a powerful aura about you at the masquerade. My most sincere thanks for saving our fair city from certain doom. I owe you more than you can ever know, and it pains me to have missed your grand ceremony. From all I've heard, you are quite legends already. Young Reeve is certainly fond of you. Although I won't be back to Goldhaven for some time, please call on me if you find yourselves in Ogway. Laudna and I are dying to see you, and we'd love to have you over for dinner. Until then, may the moon always light your path forward. Fond farewells, Alphonse LeBlanc." In like half of the parchment is an enormous swooping signature, and it has a sketched symbol that was the same as the wax seal on it.
I can't believe he was so blatantly a Dracula. I'd love to have you for dinner. Oh, God. I don't want to have my blood drained by a Dracula. Oh.
You understood about half those words.
Oh, I'm sorry. Blood draining is when somebody taps into your veins and your blood falls out. And in this case, it'd be into his mouth.
Sounds just like bleeding.
Yeah, but it's intentional.
And that's what a Dracula does.
Yeah.
Is what you mean.
Yeah. They have little syringes in their teeth, and they put their teeth in your veins and they just suck your blood. Wow. Like that, kind of.
Alright, well, it's awfully friendly, and he seems to have every intention to stay in Ogway.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, where do we go next?
To Ogway.
Well, now, hold on.
I knew those words were coming. I actually wrote down in my book of grudges that you were about to say that, and I pop open my book. See, right here, Rodick is about to say, now hold on. I write that every single morning when I get up. I have it in here at least 1,500 times.
Well, it's bound to be right at least once
Every day.
Maybe. But regardless of what he's up to, I think it's also fair that I'm going to just keep Orpheus around forever.
Well, no, I just lock him in our dungeon, and then we don't have to worry about him, right?
I don't necessarily want to just leave him here either, but I don't want to turn him loose. But we've also decided that we weren't going to just murder him in cold blood and turn him over to for the money. So I don't really know what we're going to do with all
Could we murder him in warm blood, do you think?
No.
I thought we decided we weren't going to murder him, much to my chagrin.
We can't do any kind of murdering or blooding or anything warm or cold until I get what I need out of him.
Right?
Yeah, I guess that's
And so
true.
that's what I have a feeling it'll be very dangerous if we go, but to me it seems unfair to delay that just because we think LeBlanc's up to no good with no
Well,
proof.
I mean, I have all the proof that I need.
What's your proof?
Well, he said the word moon. He doesn't go out in the daytime. His name sounds Dracula-like. He's raising people. Sorry, Avantris. He's raising people from the dead. He said he wanted to have us for dinner. I mean, all those
Specifically,
things.
remember the word "over" being in that letter.
Yeah, no, I don't think you can read. So So obviously.
Definitely read.
Well, I mean, but anyway. So the point is, he's most definitely a Dracula. But now that Annulin is my best friend, we should probably save her mom before killing a Dracula. Unless her mom is also a Dracula, and then we should kill her. Sorry, Annulin.
Well, here's what I say. I say that now that Fergus is out, Avantris, you get your band together, whatever you need to do. I say we investigate that house and we see what we find. We know that he's probably murdering people on a nightly basis. Or at least regularly. Women, that's right.
Yeah. Unsuspecting women with no families.
And,
no paper trails, as they say.
We think he may somehow have your dead friend.
Yeah.
But alive. But given that, it just...
Or, it's like double trouble, and there was a twin involved that we didn't know about. Or, this person used... Oh my god, Fergus is right. I bet this person used Dimension Door. And then they became a new person! Oh,
But
solved
wouldn't
it.
the old one be dead?
Yeah,
I
but
don't think
they
you're
are.
allowed to talk to Fergus anymore.
Fergus isn't right about just about anything, and that it makes me wonder if he's right about Hissy.
What we can do is I suppose we gotta go get Fergus and didn't we tell everybody we'd meet in the Kench? Isn't that what we said? I
Well,
can't remember, it was
yeah,
last week.
We said we were going to have a meeting with them once Fergus was out, but at that point we didn't know when Fergus was going to be out, so we're going to have
Right.
to send them word.
Alright, so then maybe we write, we'll send word like Sylvie suggests, and we'll collect Fergus and we'll take him directly to the Kench and back to the hideout, and we'll take Seamus with us if you want to go. If you'd like to see where this leads, you're welcome to join us, and I don't really know what to make of Taiki. I don't know if she'll join us or find us or what. I don't even know how to find her, so that may be unable to be a thing. But like Sylvie said, we should send word for Amiria and round up Fergus, and we should all meet at the hideout.
Alright. Do we want to go right now, or should we just take a night to relax and enjoy this?
It's up to you guys. I don't necessarily see any point in waiting. You know me.
Well,
But
we know Fergus is getting out tonight.
Oh, I thought he was getting out tomorrow.
No, it's tonight. Right?
Or maybe it was
Tonight.
tomorrow.
I'm pretty sure it's tonight.
we can't leave him alone overnight. He's liable to end up right back in prison.
Well, we could just ask if they could let him out tomorrow.
Well, let's go to Blood Anchor. It's probably about that time-ish, right?
Probably like late afternoon now,
And he was getting out when?
in the evening.
Okay. So let's enjoy lunch, and we'll go in a few hours to go get them.
Fine by me.
Okay. You enjoy a wonderful lunch. They take special requests, and you're able to basically get any kind of food that you ask for, and it's this incredibly delicious. The ingredients taste incredibly fresh and very well made. And you get informed by Langtree that your animals are in the stables outside in the gardens, and that the staff remained unharmed. And
Although the vulture thing was a little bitey, I managed to dodge and evade. I'm quite spry.
Yeah, they're teething.
Well, I never seen a vulture with no teeth, but then I also never saw a vulture that was giant and had two heads neither.
Yeah, they spend most of their life teething, so you have to be aware that they're probably going to bite you. But it's only because they're teething,
Well,
not because they're a horrible vulture monster.
roll a deception check with advantage.
Gotta get the dice out.
Oh, dice.
We do occasionally roll dice here, ladies and gentlemen. We do occasionally roll dice.
Did you say disadvantage?
Deception.
No, advantage.
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 Oh, okay. Deception with advantage.
Yes, with
Okay.
advantage.
20.
Well, that makes sense to me. I buy it. I never was a zoologist. I always wanted to be one, though.
Did you say that you bite?
What? No, I never said that.
Said what?
He bites.
I could have sworn that you said he bites.
No, I think he said he bought it.
Oh.
Oh, no, yeah, I buy it. No,
Alright.
you would know better than me.
Oh, like buy it.
No, yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, like
That makes sense. You're the expert.
like
I
he
ain't
knew
know-
that you were lying about it, but he's going to pretend like you're not.
No, that sounds very reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna go check on Ramby, and then would you like to meet me outside in a few minutes, and then we'll head over and collect Fergus?
That's fine with me.
So we do that.
I'm gonna go check on, I'll go with you and check on Sunny.
Alright.
You check on Piccolo, Rambi, and Sunny and Scramble. They are fine. They're happy to see you. Even Piccolo seems to be glad to be out of that situation, even though she's still in like a stable of some kind. She's glad to be out. It's a little bit roomier. The stables are small. It can only probably handle maybe like one more like larger creature like that, but they seem very comfortable and they're happy to see you. And so you all meet outside. And what are you gonna do?
We'll head to Blood Anchor.
Okay. So you're all fed. The sun has set, and you make your way. There's kind of this light chill on the air as you make your way to the fortress in Blood Anchor, and you are met with once again kind of remember the same situation where Sea Eagle just wordlessly started marching in step with you and guided you to the fortress. And as you make your way towards it, the door opens and you see two guards with Fergus, his hands bound together in manacles, as he's kind of looking down at the ground, and you can kind of see he's shaking a little bit as he steps forward, and one of the guards pulls out a key, undoes it, undoes the other one, grabs it, and just nods at him and points over to you guys. And Fergus rubs his wrists, and he looks up, and he kind of his eyes narrow, and he looks like he's going to say something. As he's kind of looking at one of the guards that unshackled him has a small little mustache, and he's like looking and glaring at him, and then he just walks over to you all, and he steps up and says, "You my welcome party."
Always, of course. Just come with us, pal.
How long was I in there?
Longer than any of us would like to admit.
Yeah, I feel like I don't even remember, don't even know the days anymore. I feel like there might be some time dilution magic that they're using to make me lose track of time. Normally I am a steel trap. Avantris, you know this.
That could be the case, but listen, we've got some serious work we've got to attend to now, and we're gonna need your help. And we got Amiri on board, and Fergus is coming along too. Seamus is coming along too. So, are you ready?
Well, I didn't have anything on me when they threw me in the slammer, so I got my rags that I'm wearing. Don't mind the smell.
We're gonna swing past your hideout first, but then we're gonna go to, the house where we lost Hissy. We're gonna go check this out. We're gonna go follow your lead here.
Are you serious? We're going to the ghost room
Amiri is
again?
coming too.
Wow, that's like old days. It's like we have real jobs again, Avantris.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember when you used to have a real job? And he's walking along.
I still have a real job. I'm an officially recognized hero now.
Well, I mean, stooge of the elites doesn't really sound like a real job to me. It sounds like you're a traitor to the common folk, but, you know, potato.
It's awfully cruel, Fergus. Maybe we'll just catch up and you can tell us what it was like to be locked away for so long while we walk to the Kench together.
Well, I refused to eat because I knew I didn't need their mind-altering, pathetic gruel that they were trying. They were trying to break me and make me a stooge of the state like you are, Manders. And I refuse. And he just kind of regales you as you walk along with him. And he's kind of looking around Noble Garden as you're making your way through, and he says, like, I don't think I've been up here for like 15 years. This is unbelievable. This is being in the air, in the open air, feels strange too.
To be fair, you've been kind of hiding a bit for a while.
Well, Fergus Flamesider hides no longer. I was in there for so long.
It was only a month. I mean, to be fair, it could have been worse.
That is a month I could have been planning the downfall of the global cabal, okay?
Right, but I think let's just keep our priorities straight. And first, Avantris, are you planning on going tonight, or it's quite late now? Do you think we should wait until the morning?
We can. I would suggest then we all maybe rest at Fergus's place so we can get up early and get this done. I don't know what we're going to encounter. I quite hope it's nothing, but I suppose we should rest up.
Well, I'm just thinking if we bring him back to the mansion, perhaps we can get him bathed by the servants there, so he doesn't smell so terrible.
I lean in closer to the gang and I say, I don't think he might cooperate with that, and I think he probably wants his things from the Kench.
Right, that's a fair point, and you're right.
We can try.
I'm gonna follow around prestidigitationing him until he's clean.
Oh wow. So are you saying you can clean yourself without using the water that is just rife with diminution potions?
I can, yeah.
You should sell that service.
Sure.
It is, so we'll work on something.
But for you, it's free.
Well, that is a brilliant idea, Sylvie. I have so many ideas to protect people from the poison water. Let's go. I need some Yulongese Banshee peppers immediately.
All right, let's go to the Kench.
So it's probably 10:30. 10:30, 11 by the time you make it back to the Kench. It takes you a good probably 3 hours to go. You're not really in any kind of rush, and you arrive, and Fergus reaches into the side of his mouth and like sticks it under his tongue. Oh, I had that under there for a month.
Fergus, please tell me that's not poison.
No, it's a key, Randers. How do you think I'm gonna get back in my own place?
That's a great question.
Wait,
I step back.
You've had a key in your mouth for a month.
That's right. They never found it. I'm excellent at smuggling and hiding things in various parts of my person.
Just open the door.
Okay.
Actually
Do you have
horrifying.
anything else on you?
Nothing that you need to know. And he sticks the key into the various holes. It seems to be a skeleton key. It's unlocking everything. And the door opens, and the smell kind of hits you of the same dusty hideaway, the kind of stale bedding, and he breathes it in and says, "No, that's like good. That is like good. It's so good to be back." And he immediately runs over to the storehouse. He starts
pulling up all of the metal bars that were barring this door, and he basically practically dives into a barrel of these Yulongese banshee peppers, and he just grabs a massive handful, and he's like, "You want some of these? This is the real stuff."
Yeah, I would like one.
Okay, here we go.
I'm just gonna hold it.
Have I had one before?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
can.
and I
Oh,
both have.
I'll take a few.
Okay, you take some. Make a Constitution saving throw.
21.
21. Okay, you're fine. You feel like it's increased. It's been a while since you had one. You feel this fire kind of well up in your belly, and you feel like it may overwhelm you, and you manage to get it under control. And he's chewing that. So, gold in the barrel. You know the drill.
All right. I take my gold pouch. I put it in.
He's holding the lid. Come on.
I do my usual thing, and I give the party's gold to Lumi and have her go invisible outside with it.
Okay, she's outside. Man, y'all are poor. I mean, it's unbelievable. I thought you were heroes of the town, and then you don't have any gold on you. Well, that's good. I mean, that's how they're listening. So it's actually smart that you don't have any gold on you.
Wait, all because of you, Fergus. We're just listening to you.
Finally, someone is listening to my fantastic theories. Okay, so what's the plan, folks?
Well, the plan is, I suppose, and please feel free, anyone else, to chime in here, but we're going to rest here for the evening. We've sent for Emiria, I thought, and we're going to meet here in the morning, and we're going to head out. We're going to head to the infamous house, and I guess look for clues, and we're going to need you to be sharp, pal. We're going to need you keeping your eyes open for anything that may, remember or remind you of what you saw that night that you attacked Alphonse. I thought I was muted for a split second, and now I'm starting to sweat, and I apologize.
That not Alphonse. He has hissy. You know that, right?
I don't know what to believe right now. I believe that you saw what you saw, but we're going to get to the bottom of it and try to get some answers.
We're gonna find something. We're gonna find proof, and we are going to bring the elite of this city down. We're gonna burn it all down. We're gonna burn down whatever sort of mansion they gave you. We're gonna burn it all down.
Well,
Well, we're not going to do that. We're going to focus on the
No.
hissy thing first.
yeah, nobody's burning down Chateau Sylvie.
Well, another revolution for another time, I guess. I'm just happy to. I'm happy to be back in my place. Excuse me.
Are we expecting Emiria tonight or tomorrow?
Probably in the morning, due to the very detailed correspondence that I absolutely definitely wrote and then sent.
Did we actually send for her?
We said we were going.
Of course we did.
We can. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Well, she knows how to get here. She knows the password. Do you all know the password?
No.
Of course we do. Do you know the password?
It's Hobgoblin. I told you 1,000 times,
right,
Vandris.
Right, that's what I was just going to say, Hobgoblin.
You think I forgot my own password, Vandris?
I was just testing you. I wanted to make sure the elite's in gets you.
Unbelievable. Okay. I'm going to bed in my bed.
And he climbs this little ladder up into a little room that he always sleeps in, and there's a little trap door that slams. You hear, and he locks it up, and you are now in Fergus's place.
Avantris, what are you hoping to find at this house?
Nothing. I don't want to go to this house. You think that I want to do this? I think that Fergus is on the edge of a serious mental breakdown, and I'm concerned about him, and I'm concerned about the vision that he saw. I'm worried that Emiria is going to stab me in the throat the first chance I turn my back. I don't want any part of this.
There's no little part of you that thinks it might be true?
No, of course there's a little part of me. If I thought there was absolutely no chance, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd say to hell with the whole thing. Honestly, I think we have more reasonable things to pursue, but I can't have someone I've known forever getting locked up because they might be going crazy.
Well, how about this? How did you meet Hissy?
That's a very long story that I don't really feel like getting into right now. But neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is we're going to take a rest, we're going to wait for Emiria, and we're going to head out and we're going to put this thing to rest, okay?
Fair enough. I just thought it might help if we're looking for clues to see if we can find her. If she's from here or... I don't know. We'll talk about it later, I guess. You seem agitated.
I'm fine, thank you.
It'll be fine. I think we just need to... If it's been abandoned this whole time, I think it's worth just at least closing that door. We'll investigate, and perhaps we'll find something that disproves what Fergus is saying.
We just also need to keep on our toes, because what I saw that night was unnatural, and I don't know what caused it or what it could have been, and I don't even know if it's still there. And all this talk of the ghost stream and these crazy conspiracy theories, quite frankly, has me on edge.
Well, we've handled a lot worse, honestly. We can handle probably a few ghosts. We've handled undead sea creatures. We've handled so many things that I think we'll be fine.
I hope you're right.
Okay.
Well, good night.
Okay, well, good night then.
And Sylvie's gonna get up on tiptoes, remembering what Vander said about staying on your toes. And she's gonna tiptoe outside, mount her broom, and head back to the chateau and go to sleep.
Okay. So you fly all the way back. It's late, but there is staff up at all hours, and they tuck you in. They fetch whatever you need, and make sure that you feel comfortable, and you fall sound asleep in your room.
Good night, guys.
I'm already asleep.
I leave it on while I snore.
So you saw a little candle light from underneath Seamus's door as you were making your way to your room, and he seemed to have still been up. And you all fall asleep, and you awake the next day, and feeling invigorated. I don't know if you want to get up early and bring Seamus or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'll put him on the broom and fly with him.
As he gets on, he says, I trust you, Sylvie. You saved me life, but do you know how to fly this thing?
Yeah, very much so.
I was very half unconscious last time you put me on this, and
Yeah.
I don't have fond memories of how I felt, but
Yeah. It makes some people puke. Hold on to my waist now, Seamus. We're going at top speed.
I'm just gonna zoom to the cat. I will use my mage hand to kind of hold him steady as much as
Okay.
possible, but it doesn't really help
He's
much.
going to fail his con saving, though. You hear as
Told ya!
he upchucks, spraying some unfortunate soul down on the streets.
Sorry.
As you fly overhead, you see a couple kids. As you fly overhead with your broom, and Sylvie arrives. You arrive probably in the morning, and before any of you are up, Fergus is up, and you hear kind of some scraping, and you hear some kind of sizzling in a pan. And as you wake up, you kind of get the smell of, it's not that pleasant. It smells like food, but it's not pleasant. As you wake up and you get to the main kitchen area, and in a pan are these strange strips of like beef and like chopped up banshee pepper, and he's just
Yum.
stirring it around.
That smells delicious, Fergus.
Banshee pepper and dried beef. That's all we got.
Yum.
It'll do.
I mean, it'll keep you
Appreciate
strong.
your hospitality.
It'll keep you real strong. Keep your vitality about you, and it'll keep your wits about you.
Seamus and I ate at the house, so we're good.
Oh, Seamus, hi.
Well, he puked on the way over, so he might actually be hungry.
Oh, well, there's plenty
Oh, yeah.
extra.
He stumbles in and he grabs the door frame and he says, I don't know if I'm cut out for high society.
Oh, you've got vomit on your shirt.
And I prestidigitation him clean.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You stink. Eat some food.
He stands over and is like, it's to Fergus. It's good to see you out of the slammer there, Fergus. I thought they threw away the key. And Fergus walks up to him and slaps him on the back. Seamus almost stumbles forward. You hear a loud thud as his meaty hand slaps him on the back. And he says,
Well, no jail cell can contain Fergus Flamesider. I mean, I had some help from these guys, but I mean, I would eventually have busted through at the bars. There is nothing that they could have done to keep me
You know
or silence me.
You know what you should do next time, Fergus? You should start storing your key in a vat of banshee peppers, so that way the next time you're keeping it in your mouth, over time it seeps into your system and it invigorates you so you can break out quicker.
That is a hold on a sec. And he scrambles upstairs, and he comes back down with like this ratty, disgusting leather journal, and he opens it up, and you just see these bizarre scribbles in there. It's kind of hard to tell, and he takes this ratty piece of charcoal, and he just starts writing in there, and he closes. Okay, thanks. Another brilliant idea.
You're welcome.
I have excellent sources. You brought excellent sources, and I appreciate that. So have some food, Seamus. You look horrible. I mean, you are not cut out for the elite life. You and I, we are the common folk. Avantris, I mean, hold on. What do you expect from bringing an elf into the group? But let's be serious. And so, but you and I, we're common folk. So you didn't hear that.
Standing right here.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Either way, everyone eat up. We have a long day ahead of us. And then so he gets some tin plates and shovels up some, basically this slop, kind of just shreds of just dried tough beef and sliced up banshee pepper as he just throws plates to all of you, and there's enough room for all of you to sit down, and you're all eating breakfast, and he says and Fergus looks around all of you and says, I know what I'm expecting when we go to this house. But what are you all expecting? I'm just testing you.
Well, Seamus is probably going to puke again. And I only say that because when we dismounted on the broom, he went, ugh. So that's kind of...
Seamus isn't coming with us, is he? I don't think he never saw any of our adventures.
So why did we bring him?
Well, I think that he has the right. He knows us all very well, and we owe it to him. I think he is owed closure just like anyone else's.
He nods, and he kind of puts a hand down on the table with a bit of a thud, and he says, I love that wee one as much as the rest of you, and I feel horrible that I had any part of it, and if I can see any kind of clue and be part of helping find closure, I'd like to do that. And Fergus kind of shakes his head and shrugs and says, well, I mean, hopefully you're still good with a knife, old man. And he's just shoveling food. And you eventually hear a tap at the door, and you hear, Hobgoblin. And
the bitch is here.
That's right, she is here.
And he runs up to the door. You see him undoing all of the locks. It takes him like 2 minutes, like it usually does. Opens the door. You see Emiria. Both of her scimitars seem to be freshly sharpened, and she has a travel pack on her shoulder. Seems to be a bit larger. She has a full backpack, and she's in kind of these tough leathers as if she's ready for traveling, and she drops off the bag. She pulls out her I got it, and she dumps it into the barrel and closes it, her gold, and I marked it though, so no stealing from me again, Fergus. And she's like, I know that was only once. You steal some gold one time, and then everybody's got to bring it up every single time they put their own gold in your own barrel, whatever. And so she kind of she looks at you and says, gang?
Bitch.
Oh?
It's you.
Is there any left of that? And Fergus, oh yeah, we got some, and he makes her a plate and slides it over to her, and she sits down, and she kind of surveys the whole table, and Fergus and Seamus are kind of just eating, and she says, so this is our new plucky band, huh?
For now.
At least for today. I don't plan to keep this going for much longer.
Where's your new tiefling friend?
Dying, hopefully.
He's secured in a cell. We've got him secured.
We have a mansion.
I heard, I saw.
Yeah, you can come hang out in my room anytime you want, bitch.
I'm pretty busy with work, but
Just letting you know,
I'll try
I've
to-
got a tower, so if you want to do that weird spinny dagger thing you want to do from my tower drunk sometime, I'm happy to watch it.
There's
You
a,
vomit on my stuff, I can clean it up.
there's a bit of a smile that kind of comes to her face, and she says, that actually sounds like fun.
Yeah, one of these days.
Yeah, spinning around drunk. Even if I hurt myself, who gives a fuck?
Right, I can heal you. I've got a little bit of those powers now too.
Good.
Yeah.
You all are talented. You found some talented, making up for the lack of talent that you lost by we noble heroes here. She looks to Fergus and Seamus, and she kind of groans and just gets back to eating and says, "So when are we leaving?"
As soon as everyone's ready, we head out.
So I think that we may not have told you what the full plan is. So Rodak, and you can blame him, thinks that we need to go by that one house where the ghosts are. Because there might be clues, so I can just tell by, I'm not even going to look at you, I can just tell by the anger that's radiating from your body that you don't like this idea, and I knew you wouldn't, but the thing is, as much as I hate him and his, now hold on, I think he does have a point. And so, if you want to punch someone, you can punch me, because I'm very small and I'll fly, and that will make you feel better about it. But I do think that we should go.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh shit, I don't have one on my dice. Can you hand me my dice?
You want to use one of mine?
Should have known. I should have used your dice.
You can use your own
13.
die. Here.
You're correct. As soon as you mentioned it, you kind of felt the anger radiating. I'd say that you're perceptive enough to gather that. As you hear the clatter of, or just the clank of the fork just drop on the plate, as she kind of stares and looks up and says, "You're all joking, right?"
No.
We're not.
You all saw what happened there. What if it happens again? Who's gonna sacrifice themselves this time?
Well, I vote not me, because when we were on that boat, I sacrificed myself, so it's really somebody else's turn.
We're not gonna have to sacrifice anyone or anything. I'm expecting this to be a rather dull trip and not turn anything up, but a lot has happened. We can't afford to have Fergus assaulting people and rotting away in prison, and I think we all need a little bit of closure surrounding this. So as much as I also don't like this idea, I think that Rodak and Fergus are right, and I think we need to check it out.
And I mean, no offense by this, but a band of bounty hunters is a wee bit different than a group of very, very, very powerful now heroes.
Well,
I know you don't want to admit it, but look at me now.
He's pretty good. He got the last hit on Orpheus.
if you want to slap either
La-di-da.
one of them, I have a mage hand that will help you.
Can you do Avantris?
Well, you can slap him, and I'll just assist you.
No, I just want to see the mage hand.
Sure, I'm gonna try and slap it with my mage hand.
Make an attack roll. I would just say don't add anything.
14.
14. Vantage, you manage to dodge out of the way as the mage hand misses your face narrowly, and
See, that's why I need your help. I can't do it on my own. I'm a magic user, bitch.
she scoffs a little bit and is shaking her head, and she looks at Fergus and she's like, "Was this his idea? Was this your idea? Why is it the dwarves? It's always the dwarves."
Now, I suppose I probably was the one to bring it up first. And that's primarily because Orpheus seemed to know quite a bit, or what I'll say is he confirmed quite a few of our suspicions about LeBlanc. And I think it's very clear that he's not who he says he is. And if he's the type of man that presumably murders innocent women on a regular, perhaps nightly basis, that him being in him mysteriously leaving in the middle of the night, that alone makes me not completely disbelieve what Fergus has to say.
Yeah.
So, given that it's still been abandoned all these years later,
Yeah.
it can't hurt to at least check it out and see if there's something that can prove or disprove or give us some kind of information to understand what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
You can check with advantage because Sylvia assisted. And Vander's assisted. Both of you assisted.
Thank you,
the whole time.
Sylvie.
You're welcome.
You said yeah very convincingly.
That's because I meant
A
it.
natty 19, so persuasion a 20.
20. Okay, so she slowly starts to nod and picks her fork back up and says, I don't want to go back there.
I'll hold your hand the entire time if you get scared.
Thank you. We should go. And you better not be fucking lying to me. I will kill you, she says to Fergus. And whoa, I mean honestly, I told them, but I swear I told them not to tell you at all. So they're really the bad guys here. And her fist clenches and says, let's find some information. And if you're lying to me, we'll cross that bridge when it comes. And so she goes.
Amiri, I know that you don't trust me anymore, but I promise I got your back. For what it's worth.
The moment he starts talking, I'm going to use minor illusion to make his voice really high-pitched and goofy. And I'm going to go,
I did that just so it didn't irritate you as much when he speaks. Now it's kind of funny.
As soon as you do that, it comes out as I got your back. Oh, and did I do that? It Urkelfies his voice. And make a performance check. Make a performance check.
20.
20. She stops and then just. Okay, that was funny. Okay, and you can kind of see a kind of steely resolve come over her, and she takes a big bite. Oh God, this is shit, Fergus. Like, well, hey, I'm providing you breakfast. Be respectful, bitch.
This actually makes Sylvie laugh legitimately.
And then she just says, fuck you, Fergus. And she just keeps eating. And a little bit of levity returns to the table. And you all finish your meals and prepare. And any kind of planning that you guys want to do. And so as you're talking, Fergus says, so, I mean, the last time I had some of my guys kind of cased the joint, it was all boarded up and covered in cobwebs and all that other spooky shit you'd expect from a connection to the ghost stream, which I think it still is. So if we plunge a pin needle into the ghost stream, they may erupt out, and I hope you are all ready to deal with the consequences of that. Because I'm not turning and running this time.
I love plunging.
We identify what actually is a ghost stream, or find clues that this ghost stream is real.
That's exactly why we need to do this.
Don't know.
Now, I agree.
Well, I mean, I think it's real. I mean, I know it's real because I have excellent sources, but I mean, I haven't seen it. I mean, we saw the ghost stream, but like whether...
You don't know how to identify it.
Well, it's one of those things, like, when you see it,
I think you probably perhaps saw ghosts or some kind of spirits. However, I think let's just keep an open mind. We'll go in carefully. It's still the morning. There's plenty of daylight. It's boarded up, so let's be careful. Let's keep our wits about us, and we'll just go very carefully. How does that sound?
Well, I mean, I guess it'll sound good to me. I mean, none of these fucking hoopleheads are gonna fuck with us now. Now that we got the heroes of the town and all you new folk,
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, shall we head out?
Yeah, let's just get this done.
Let's go.
Agreed.
This is the most ridiculous posse I think that's walked through the Kench in the past 5 years.
Yeah, we should have a name, like the Pussy Posse.
Yeah, do y'all have a name?
Yeah, the Pussy Posse.
What do you mean a name? I'm Rodick.
Because we like cats.
I mean, I guess we never had a name, Avantris. I guess, you don't need a name if you're gonna fight people. Just think about it. And so he stands up, and he's like, hold on a sec. I want each and every one of you to take 3 Yulongese Banshee peppers on this expedition.
Okay, I will do that.
Oh, Fergus.
Yes, Fort Murdoch.
Oh, so remember those jars that you gave us?
Oh yeah.
What was in that?
Oh, it was some of my special brew. It was my super dwarven vitality. 3 different concoctions that I have. 3 different lines. You can set up a payment plan if you want. I'm working it all out. It's all great. And it helps you fight the elite. Anyway.
Would it be worth bringing some of that?
Oh no, you took the last of my supply and then I got arrested. So I mean, all my brewing supplies are all in storage. I gotta get myself going.
That's fine. So let's.
I still got 2 rotten lizard folk upstairs.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, no, I gotta get that cleaned up. I guess.
Yeah, well. Anyways, and I turn and I go out the door.
Okay.
I'm gonna grab the bitch's hand
Okay.
and just kind of skip along next to her, even though she's angry.
She looks at you, and you're just kind of like her hands going like
Swinging,
this.
and she's trying to keep it
as
still,
she's
but
just
it's not
trying
working.
to. And it's like let's keep at least keep my hand by my sword, okay? And so
Yeah,
she
of
kind of
course.
guides you back, and so you can kind of see that her hands are always poised to grab her blades. And as she's looking around, Seamus puts up the collar on his coat and puts his large brimmed hat that you've seen him wear as he kind of puts his hand on a knife.
Oh, I meant to say this earlier, but I wanted to trade out my ring of spell storing
Sure.
for my new item.
Got it.
And so I would have used the time at some point to do that.
I'd
if
say
was cool.
that's totally fine. You had like 5 days of downtime.
That's actually a good question.
Yeah. We can
Do
do
any
that.
of the items that we have conflict with any of the others?
So you can have 3 attuned magical items.
Okay.
So as long as you have no more than 3, then you're good.
And is there an item that's similar to what you gave me in, or is it completely
Staff of
homebrew?
healing.
Okay,
Staff.
thank you. You the best.
Okay. What am I doing? What? Okay. Here we go. This is okay. This is okay.
And then what did you get? You got a. It was like a gem. Avantris?
You got
Wait,
a
me?
medallion.
Yeah.
I got the Windward Albatross amulet.
Right. Okay. So and does that require?
That's
attunement?
attunement.
Okay.
Everything but
And
the
I'm
strongbow is
very
attunement.
attuned to it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I actually don't know how to use it. Is it just a passive?
Yep. So I'll just say that like it's something where like if you get into combat, you can just immediately trigger it, and then the illusion kind of shows up here to kind of deflect.
So it's it's not an active.
It's a
just
passive. Yeah, it's not an active. It's
Right.
a passive. It just so like when you're walking around wearing it, it's not like there's always 2 of you walking around. Is
That
just,
would be very goofy.
yeah, that would be absurd. So it's just a little bit there. So you make your way through the Kench. Fergus bringing no weapons. You can see that he did, however, before he went out, he went and he like has a banshee pepper in each of his fingers, and he just let's get pumped, come on, and he rips off his shirt. He rips off his shirt. I'm ready to find the secrets, discover the ghost dream, and tear down Alphonse LeBlanc. And so he walks up, his just hair all over his chest and back, no items. And is like, these are the only deadly weapons I need. And he taps his fists, and he's leading the group. Everyone else is being kind of stealthy. Fergus is kind of walking around looking like he's looking to pick a fight. And
Fergus, I heard you once punched someone 12 times and they died.
I punched someone twice and they died. You know that, Avantris.
Twice? Wow.
If there were
That story keeps getting better every time I hear it.
25, it's the same every time I tell it. Okay, twice, dead. And if you give me one lucky punch, that's out. That's end of story. Okay. And so if 10 of these goons show up, I could devastate them in about 20 seconds. Okay. Okay. So I'm not worried about these. You all can be like, oh, I got my blades and everything. I'm gonna look around and say, I don't give. What are they gonna do to me? Huh? And like, there's this guy standing on the street corner, just kind of mocking, like, "Hey, you gonna fuck with me?" And the guy like looks and says, "No, I ain't." And then he just turns and walks to the other corner. And says, "See, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?" And,
Can we just walk inside?
you can see that his eyes are starting to get like a little bloodshot or whatever. And he pulls out this flask and he takes a huge swig of it. And he just starts walking. And you eventually make your way down very deep into the Kench. This is deeper than Orpheus's hideout, and it's very close to kind of the crook in the wall where it's so far from any of the major roads or any of the gates that a lot of sea eagles don't get this deep in, and so you all make your way, and the streets start to get less and less and less crowded. The buildings seem to have fewer lights on, as some of the buildings seem to be condemned, but you can definitely hear some noises as you're walking through. And you eventually turn one corner and down the end of a row, dead end, and you see up, almost kind of built right up against with a huge wall looming over you. You see at the end of this alley, more or less, a small 2-story building. Just you see like this litter and this trash. A smashed barrel is about 10 feet outside. You see that whatever sort of windows or doors that there were have long been shattered. You see a bit of a fragment of glass from behind boards that have fully been covering all of the windows and doors to this 2-story building. And you stand before the building where you lost hissing. And as soon as you turn the corner down to that alley, Amelia stops as you're all kind of walking forward. And I guess she's holding your hand, so she would stop. And as the rest of the group keeps going, and she looks at it, and her eyes wide, and Sylvie, you can start to kind of feel her hand tremble a little bit, and she just, you kind of hear her breath start to get a little bit more labored. I wasn't ready for this.
I'm gonna squeeze her hand and I'm gonna say, I know that this is hard for you, but if Hissy made it out of here, she'd want you to go in, and she'd want you to find out what happened to her. And if she didn't, she would want you to find the closure you need to be able to move on, because she loved you, and you know that. It's gonna be okay.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
A lot.
27.
Immediately, as soon as you say that, her hand stops trembling, and her muscles kind of tighten up, and she just doesn't say anything, but you kind of look up and you see her nod, and she follows behind the group as Fergus just walks up to the front and says,
Ready to go.
So what's the plan here? Are we doing this?
We're doing this, Fergus.
We can't hear you, Avantris.
oh, yeah.
I hate this stupid application. I'm so mad.
Oh, God, excuse me. Oh, swam 20 miles today.
I'm gonna find the guy who wrote Skype and I'm gonna beat him. I was going to say, before I fell into the Fergus character so flawlessly, we don't really have a plan. I think we just kick the doors in and we go in guns a-blazing, so to speak.
As soon as you say we don't have a plan, you go in guns up as you hear "Ah!" as Fergus is, you hear a loud crack as you see Fergus punch through just with his massive dwarven fist. Harry just armed all the way up, completely shirtless, covered in sweat from just the Yulongese pepper. He's been sweating this entire time. He smashes through
Just disgusting.
wooden planks, just flying and splintering. And then,
This is why dwarves have the stigma that they have.
and
Hold on, what stigma?
Shh, we're going in, guns a-blazing, Rhoda. Go.
he is just punching all of the board and just smashing them, and you hear the clattering of the woods. You see kind of fragments of dust.
You're gonna ruin the evidence!
Ah, I don't care. I hate these boars. Ah,
And so, come here, Ghost Stream! Ah! And he's smashing all of it's splintering. You see a rusty nail kind of fly at your direction. You have to dodge out of the way. As finally, once he's done, Forrest is kind of, excuse me. Sometimes I get a little carried away when I just see the shoddy, but I'm done by the elites trying to cover up what happened here. Just makes me mad.
Oh, okay, alright. Now, why don't... Let us take the lead from now on. Thank you for opening the door. And you stay behind us and you watch out for ghosts.
Yeah,
You do that?
we need you behind us because we're not as perceptive as you are. And if something comes up behind us, we'll all die. And so we need you there because you're the only one that can handle what could potentially come up behind us.
Make a persuasion check with a very low DC.
What, a persuasion?
Yeah.
11.
That is more than enough. As he's like, okay, that's a great idea. I have trained myself to be able to see ghosts like a cat sees in the night. I see.
Well, that's
through
why we're
ghosts.
called the Pussy Posse. You get to the back, Fergus. Let's go.
Definitely not called that.
No,
at
we're
all.
not.
Well,
No,
we'll
we're not doing
see.
that.
Okay.
We can talk
And
about it when
so
we get back to the Sylvie
he
Chateau.
And so Seamus kind of stands in the middle, is like, well, I hope you know what you're doing. And then Emiria's kind of has this steely resolve to her as she grabs both of her scimitars and steps in, follows Fergus. Fergus is looking out behind him, and you all step inside. It's incredibly dark. Even though it's daylight out, it's kind of a bit of an overcast. There's still a lot of sun, but this building is very, very dark. It seems like wherever the sun is angled, the sun, it's not coming through into this particular neighborhood of the Kench, either hidden behind the wall, and just the shadows over this house are almost oppressive. As you step inside, the first boot step you make is as it creaks and just echoes through this empty house, and the step that you make, it kicks off all sorts of dust as it disperses into the air. As the darkness, your eyes adjust, and whoever's going first, I don't know, Rodek or Vandus or whoever's going first.
Probably like both be up in the front.
Yeah, but Rodek and Vandus, you step up as your eyes adjust to this darkness, especially with the dark vision, and you see a house that has not been disturbed in a very long time, but as if it was the site of a very vicious battle. There are splintered stools, tables that are just completely broken in half, all cluttered around this. There's a thick layer of dust over everything. And you look in every corner, there are cobwebs. In the corner of your eye, actually make a quick perception check for me. Both of you. Perception check.
Keep getting the chippers.
10.
14.
14. As you look around, you can see just a few spiders and insects kind of skittering around, and that's the only movement that you can see. The rest of the house is completely still. You step inside, and you see at the far end, there seems to be a dusty stone fireplace. Kind of ramshackle fireplace, but it's built of stone and it's still standing. A few of the stones have been broken off or at least lie several feet from a fireplace that is that still has kind of this sooty sooty mixture, remnants of logs in the fireplace. You see that there is among the remnants, you see the occasional metal tin cup and a few copper pieces here and there strewn across. Once again, all of it has that same thick layer of dust. And every step you take closer is the boards of the floor creaking louder. To your right, you see some kind of cabinet that's been completely smashed, kind of almost caving in on itself. And basically, to the right of you, it seems to be a little sitting area, small kitchenette. To the back, there's a little fireplace where you imagine a table would have been. And then to the left, there is a wooden staircase that goes up to the top floor. And several of the steps have been smashed inward. And this seems to be the remnants of quite a vicious battle.
Are they too damaged to use?
These stairs? You
Yes.
could probably, without making a proper investigation check, you're not sure how sturdy the stairs are. You could
But
probably,
they're not completely
No.
obliterated.
Many of them are, but you could probably just like hop up and around and make some kind of check to get up there. Okay.
What do you remember of this? I mean, where did you see her die?
It was, well, pretty much right here in the center of the room. I mean, we walked in and it was more or less just a horrible, horrible ambush. And before we really knew what was happening, we saw Hissy do what she did, and we had time to escape, and that was it. It all happened so fast. I'm not entirely sure.
And he's like, any ghosts in here? Ghost Dream? Is that you?
As Fergus steps in, Emiria is her face is nearly like grave still, as she's just looking around, no emotion on her face at all, just taking in her any trembling just replaced with complete and utter motionlessness. As she holds her swords at the ready, her eyes just surveying, and Fergus steps into the center here and says, "This is where it was. We thought that Union thug was hiding here, and we didn't find him. We found a whole bunch of ghosts."
Sylvie, do you mind using the wand of detect magic to see if we can find anything?
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that. I don't know where it is.
So she uses it. She'll find
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll use that.
So
I
she
don't-
uses it. You wave your the wand around, and it does not light up with any kind of glow.
Can I look around and see? Go ahead.
Go ahead. That's okay.
I want to look around, like in the middle of the room, to see if I can see any evidence of
Make
where someone might have died.
make an investigation check.
Nope. 4.
It's hard to tell with the thick layer of dust on everything. It's very difficult to see through that.
So there's nothing in the dust, though.
That he can see. There's no
Okay.
corpse sitting at the middle.
Okay, I mean like marks that we didn't make in the dust.
Nope. Not that you can see, Rhoda.
Okay, I want to just bend down and kind of swipe some of the dust away from the middle.
Okay. You swipe the dust away, and how much are you gonna to kind of clean?
I guess take a full arm length in front of me, so maybe 2 by 3 on the floor in front of me.
You spread your arm across and just swipe away the dust. Your arm comes up completely filthy. Could you make a perception check at advantage, I'll say?
$22.
22. You As you spread your hand across, you notice that this wood in the center, at the very least, that you've wiped away, is not just the kind of standard wood at the very entrance that you saw are boarded up. It seems to be singed with some kind of discoloration, almost like it was just like there's a huge blast of some kind of energy, and mixed in to the wood, you see gleaming specks of a silvery color, just speckled throughout, almost kind of emblazoned into this wood that whatever did this searing left that remnant as well.
Does it look like any kind of singe, like what Ganji would have made or what Sylvie would have made using like a blast?
Make an Arcana check.
Five.
It looks like some kind of glittery singe.
Well, I'm not sure what upstairs may have to do with anything. It may be worth checking out. A couple of us may be able to ascend the stairs or see what's going on up there.
I could attempt to join you. I don't know how.
I can fly up there on my broom.
Well, you could fly up there, but I think you should at least take Vandus with you.
I can take the bitch with me.
It's fine too.
All right.
If you're more comfortable with that.
I'm fine down here. I'm gonna look around. And she starts
You should look for the body. I know that's a terrible thing to say, but there's no need to beat around the bush.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Well, there should still be remnants of something. Bones, at the very least.
I mean, looking at this floor, it looks singed. If it consumed her completely, there might not be anything left.
Would the singeing, would it stand out to me as anything, something I'd seen before? Or?
Make an Arcana check. I'll say with advantage.
Okay. 26.
26.
Natural 20 pickle brick!
Sorry.
Pickle brick!
I would say, with your knowledge of magic, this seems to be like the remnants of a blast of powerful magic energy. And you can tell that it's probably not, whatever did it probably is an arcane. And so I would say with that roll, that was pretty high. I would say you could probably deduce there was some kind of divine blast there.
Well, I'm not Ganji, so I don't know much about religion, but I do know what religious magic looks like, and I can tell you that this looks like some kind of divine magic. It's definitely not magic of my type of making, which is arcane magic, in case you were wondering. From the Feywild.
Emiria.
It's my best friend used to be titanium in the summer quarter. Vanders, you want to go upstairs?
And I wipe my
We can't hear
snot
you.
all over his sleeve.
Sure.
I go over and I grab a sleeve of his cloak and I wipe my snotty face all
As
over.
you
Is that all better now?
No, but get on the broom.
Okay.
As you do that, you walk over to Vanna, you wipe your snot. Amira's just kind of staring at the center, and her eyes kind of widen a little bit. It's like she was swallowed in moonlight. And she starts to get on she crouches down and starts to start wiping away the dust as you guys are going to hop on the broom.
Yeah, and just
And
fly upstairs.
fly up?
and-
Okay. You fly up, and you're able to see that whatever door was on this to this small room on the upper level has long been collapsed, smashed in. It lays about probably 5 feet into the room on its side. Once again, the same heavy layer of dust as you kind of fly through. Not much light getting through the boarded up windows. As you land, you see that there seems to be a very very modest room. Seems to have not been the site of any kind, the same kind of disruption and devastation you saw downstairs. It seems to not be the case here, as there is a bed that looks to be totally untouched. The kind of smell of stale, gross linens kind of hits your nose as you see a small end table, really rickety-looking end table, and it's this putrid-looking bed, and a door that still has it's still in the frame, basically leading to some small door leading to some other room, in what seems to be some kind of bedroom. On the table is a bottle, a dark brown bottle of some kind.
I want to inspect the room, paying extra attention to the bottle to see if it seems like it's filled with anything, if it looks like it's some kind of potion, or if it looks like it was probably just filled with alcohol, or whatever.
Make an investigation check.
25.
25. You pick up the bottle. It seems to be whiskey. The remnants of a whiskey bottle. There is a ruined, faded label on it. However, it's kind of curling up at the edges. And you're able to see very faintly through this lettering, Mon Ami, in that same elegant font that you know to be outside of the Mon Ami on its sign.
Well, what did you find?
Well, there's a whiskey bottle from the Mon Ami that's really, really old.
I suppose that makes sense. The mark we were looking for had stolen a large sum of money from them, and I would assume that he probably cased the joint for several weeks or months, or was maybe even working for them for a time, and probably swiped this bottle of whiskey as well. But we never found him, not in sign alive or dead, and not a sign of any penny that he stole, so we don't know where he went.
Do you want to try to unlock that door over there and see if his dead body is in that room, or if it's
That
maybe
would be
a potty of some kind?
Quite the twist. I suppose it couldn't hurt to pick the lock.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anyone's been in there for a while. It might give us some kind of clue.
Okay. So
I'm going to use another charge of the wand up here just
Okay.
to see if I get any kind of
you charge it,
strange reading.
and it seems to not be any. It's not seem to be registering.
Well, it looks like we're devoid of magic up here, so there's at least that.
You do try the handle. It does seem to be locked.
I'm gonna do my thing.
Okay. Make a lockpicking check. Plus dex, plus proficiency. Double it if you have that. I don't think you do.
Hmm?
Double proficiency or no?
I don't think so.
Just it's a dex check with proficiency.
Is that bar? Is it?
So I got 24.
24. You manage to pick it effortlessly. It's not very easily picked. As soon as the door, as soon as you pick it, the door kind of creaks open, and you're kind of down there, and the smell that emanates from this hits your nostrils, and it is so vile. I'm gonna need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
No, I don't like this at all.
Oh,
I don't like this at all. Let's see. What's my Constitution
It's
today?
probably an outhouse. and
My
it smells
Constitution
like
is a +2.
fermented poops.
+2.
Hey, I got a whole 7 points.
7 points. You see Van just chuck, just vomit all over the floor to his left, as the smell of rot and decay and death
I'm going to start
hits
using
your nostrils.
prestidigitation
And
to
the
try
door is cracked just a hair, just like an inch, and there's this blackness on the other side.
I'm going to start
That
using
was truly
prestidigitation
disgusting.
Okay.
to try and make a different scent, like as much as I can to try
Okay.
and mask the
You
scent.
just
so
keep
it's
doing it to
just
mask the
shooting
puke
it at
smell.
Just come back to this, because while they're doing this, I'm just
Yeah.
sort of like kicking the floorboards to see, kind of hearing that the ghost came from the floor. I want to just kind of try to look for some sort of trap door or anything hidden beneath the floorboards.
Make an investigation check, and I'll say Emiria would notice this, and Fergus would, and they'd assist you.
So
advantage, yes. You're being assisted.
While he's doing that, can I also take a little of the dust into my hand and investigate it and see if it truly is dust or if it's like some sort of ash or other like organic material?
Yeah, do a nature check for me. What do you get?
I got 21.
21?
I pickle ricked it.
You pickle ricked it.
Yeah.
Good job. So, I'll say with that check, you start tapping on the floorboards. And you kind of hear a thud, thud, and then you find sounds hollow beneath. And then you kind of go around, you find another. And you find one more, and then another. You find 3 spots in the floor that sound like there's a little bit of echo beneath. And Annually, what do you get?
23.
23. So, there is a thick layer of dust over all of this that seems to be fairly natural. But whatever kind of like ash that this is, you kind of pick up in this glittering silver in your hand, does seem to be kind of supernatural in some regard, but there also seems to be this kind of very faint remnant, almost kind of like the closer you look at it, the more of like a glow of like this kind of etherealness to whatever this char is. If that makes sense.
I want to scoop up some of it and like put it into a little pouch.
Okay. You're all doing that. You find this, and then Fergus finds one. You find one, and Emiria finds one, and then they kind of look at you like, what should we do? And then back to you guys. So the door is cracked open just an inch.
And I'm
So, yeah.
precipitationing him
Yeah,
so
you're
he can breathe.
precipitationing.
I don't know if I can open that door.
I'll do it
Something
then.
is terrible behind.
And I'm going to rush under his legs and just open it wide with him standing right there next to me.
Okay. You run up and the door
Don't worry,
opens anyway.
Avantris, I've got
so
it.
Your little hand hits that door and it's enough to just send it, and it doesn't break, but it rattles and hits the other side, opening. Just massive waft of horrible putrid scent. I need both of you again to make another Constitution saving throw.
A 5.
What do you get, Sylvie?
3.
You begin puking on each other. As both...
What? I'm just puking all over his face.
So both of you puke for a second and regain your composure. And you hear Seamus's voice. You all okay up there? As you're just... Why did I do that? And as the door flies open, you see a very small room. A small room that seems to be devoid of everything but a figure in the corner. It seems to be humanoid. Whatever it was is no longer living. A rotting corpse that where just the flesh is bloated in a lot of areas, and just this thick just kind of this grease almost all over it, and the dust is kind of in this room. And an interesting thing about it, though, its head is tilted back, and whatever kind of mouth it had is agape, and its eyes seem to be wide, almost locked, as his eyeballs are kind of like fully rotted away. But its skin kind of falling off, its fingers digging into the decaying flesh, almost tearing its face off in what looks like some kind of horror. It is cuddled up. It is sitting down in the corner, its knees pressed up, and its hands still attached to its face. As you look, its flesh, in addition to rotting, has this just horrific grayish, blackish malaise to it.
Can we tell the size of the corpse? Is it a human? Is it a dwarf or a gnome?
It would pretty clearly be a human, I would say, with that. Or humanoid.
Okay.
Medium-sized humanoid.
Right. Humanoid. I mean, are there any is any of the clothing left on it still in one piece?
Yeah.
Is it like, have all the clothes also deteriorated and rotted away?
So much of it has kind of rotted away. You kind of see some chew marks where maybe like a rat kind of chewed through it, or moths, and you do see that there are just kind of very simple clothing. You see the remnants of a leather suspender still fastened to a rusty clasp onto these linen brown pants.
Okay, and is there anything else in the room besides this corpse?
Make an investigation check.
Hey, look at that! I didn't roll low for once. 24.
24. You look around the room, and you seem to... You don't see anything else in the room besides this figure. Its feet still kind of like holding together the remnants of its feet in these ratty leather shoes. But you do notice that there's something off about the coloration of the lower teeth of this skeleton, and just kind of jutting up from the skull, as if just very faintly a little line right here along the lower ring of teeth, very faint, has that same kind of grayish, blackish malaise to it. This strange hue and texture.
All right. Did my investigation check didn't involve me checking his clothing and pockets and shit, right?
No, I think it's so filthy that.
Oh, is it not even I can't even get that close? I was gonna
You
try.
could certainly try.
Could I, while puking, use my mage hand to rummage around in his pockets?
Yeah, you could do that too. I'll say whichever one he wants to make it at advantage. You can.
So you do it, and I'll help you with the mage hand while I'm puking in the corner.
Okay.
I'll try. I'm gonna try to get closer to the thing.
Okay. Make make another investigation check and a con saving throw for me.
Before he does that, can I pukingly sing to him a song of inspiration?
Got it.
So I'm gonna just and you feel inspired.
Inspired.
I'm very inspired.
And you have advantage on your investigation check. So you're at bardic inspiration and advantage on your.
So it. What do I add for the D? It's a D6, right?
The D6, yeah, and you can add it to whichever one of those rolls, or
so
not
it's
at all.
26 for the investigation.
Okay.
And oh boy, plus 15 for the con throw.
15 for the con throw. You feel like and you manage to keep it down as you investigate. The smell starting to you're starting to get a little nose blind to it as you're rooting around on his person. You find 7 copper pieces.
Goody.
In a small pocket, and you you find what is a pin, like a badge of some kind. And it's a little bit weathered, and you kind of have to pull it out of a small pouch in his shirt. And you pull it out, and it says Belliver Union on it.
Well, this is rather shocking.
And I'll say with those 2 investigation checks, the 22 and the 26, as you're kind of looking around, you see that there is a thread that is hanging on a nail that is sticking up on one of the floorboards. A thread of fine black silk. Single thread. Seems to be out of place compared to the rest of it.
Well, what concerns me about this badge is that this is potentially the mark that we've been looking for that night, but it doesn't add up. I mean, we never found anything before, and either we must have missed it. He locked himself inside here. It's almost as if when we walked in. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's almost as if when we walked into this house and everything went down, this guy must have just gotten caught in the blast or by the spirits. I originally thought that he must have had something to do with it, but maybe he was just collateral damage to Hissy saving us. I don't know. But someone must have found the money, unless he wasn't keeping the money here either. I don't know. This is very unexpected.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Avantris.
I feel like we've seen everything that we can up here. I don't know what the thread is about, but
Take it.
all right, I'll pick up the thread and I don't know, roll it up, stick it in my pocket. We should head back down. Get away from this mess. I don't think there's anything left for us to see here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna grab the bottle of whiskey and jump on the broom.
Okay.
And fly downstairs.
So while that was happening, I probably would have tried to smash through with my
so
sword or
as
whatever.
soon as you hear that, you pull out King Krem's massive sword and you shatter these planks. And you're all sprayed with these splinters. It's like, oh, take it easy, burn. Take it easy, Miria says. And you see a small, smooth chamber below the floorboards, all paneled in wood. Dusty, but not that same level of the grime that the floorboards above had. And you see that it's about 5 feet deep into the earth. And you see that it's very dark, but you see that there are strange markings all along the walls. You see at the center, there is a circle. Etched in some kind of charcoal.
I found something.
Everyone gathers around, kind of dusting themselves off, and Emiria looks down at it and says, "What the fuck is this?"
Did they find different spots, or is it all connected to the same thing?
What? They all found different ones. Four in total.
Would they have mentioned that to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I found one. I punched through it.
And Fergus smashes with his fist down through the floorboards, and that shatters and finds the exact same thing. Emiria taps around, uses her scimitar to pop open a a series of floorboards that are kind of connected together. Most of them kind of break, but they seem to have been one time connected together. Find the same scene.
So it's
Does it, and then she goes and does it to the next one.
so there are 4, not 3.
Did I say 3?
You said
I thought there were
3 initially, then you said 4 chambers. Unless you only found 3.
No, I think there were four hollow points. So that was I
Okay.
meant to say 4. Yeah.
Got it. And how it's 5 feet deep, and how big around are they?
I would say 5, like a 5 by
So it's
5.
like a little
5. It's the 5 deal.
Do I recognize the scrawlings or the symbol at all?
From where you are, I mean, you could take an investigation at disadvantage without just hopping in there.
I'd probably hop in one. The
Okay.
first one that I found.
You jump in, you disappear down into the floor.
I'm gonna jump in with him, and I'm going to.
You're still upstairs with advantage.
Oh, I thought we'd come down.
Yeah, no. So this is concurrent. This is
Okay,
concurrent.
gotcha.
Simultaneously, yeah.
Simultaneously. You hop down, and you hear them puking upstairs, and you take a look. Make an investigation check at advantage.
Uh, 17.
17. You see these strange, elegant markings. You remember kind of a similar style you had seen in Diadra's chamber, kind of the strange, kind of crazy ones. These are very elegantly intertwined in this thick black color all across the sides of these walls. And you're starting to notice a pattern kind of emerge in these entwinings. They seem to be faces. Faces with long, tortured-looking eyes, gaping, moaning mouths, and long, stringy hair. They almost seem to be vaguely female. All the way across. And then at the very center, you simply see a solid black circle. It seems to be no bigger than like, yay.
Sylvie!
What?
Are you alright?
Yeah.
We need your wand!
And she comes
Lucas,
flying
what's
in the
wrong
room.
with her?
Oh no, that last one was just me making the noise.
So you're back down also.
Whatever. Don't go upstairs. I think it's a lot to explain, but I believe we may have found the original mark. It's a lot to piece together. I have some ideas of what may have happened, but he's very decomposed, and it's pretty gross.
Avantris puked on my head.
Well,
I'm proud of it.
you both look disgusting and you smell disgusting. Can you take a look down there?
Sure.
We found 4 of these things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna jump down into one covered in vomit.
Okay. Covenant vomit. You're gonna jump down there and make an Are you gonna use your wand?
I'm gonna do an investigation first.
Okay.
14.
You see what Rodex saw, what I just described.
So I will use my wand.
You use your
to see
wand.
if there's anything
and-
interesting about it.
There's no charge. That's like an active, like charged working spell, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you wave over it, and it's not registering. It does not glow blue like you know it does when there's like active magic.
Okay, so I am going to, in Sylvan, give instructions to Lumi, and I'm going to send her back to the house.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell her to commune with me once she's with Orpheus.
Okay.
And once she does that, I want to have my eyes go dark, and I want to, basically ignoring all of them, and I want to tell him exactly what I see, and see if he has ever seen or heard of anything like this before.
Okay. And so Lumi's gonna go fly off.
Yeah.
And so I'll let you know when she gets back in time. And so so Emiria pops open too, and she kind of steps up and looks between all of them, the 4 different, and they seem to be in each corner of this ground floor.
Oh, and do I notice any similarities between the position with like the gaping mouth and everything that the guy was in upstairs with the images of the women on these symbols? Is there any like connection there, or does it look different?
I would say that make an intelligence check with advantage.
Thank God. Intelligence. Where are
18.
you? Yeah, 18.
18. I would say these faces seem to be certainly stylized in some kind of style, but there's something that looks very familiar in the way that the unnatural way that the face of this corpse was seemed to be similar to these markings.
Ugh, Vandris, that gross, disgusting, liquefied guy upstairs has the same look on his face as these weird women. That's so creepy. I bet that those are no relation to each other, though, so don't worry about it, guys.
I would say we probably don't want to touch these then. Before we go any further,
Sylvie's hands
Amiria,
certainly on
Fergus, I just want to tell you what we saw and maybe give you what I was thinking. I'm trying to piece together the puzzle here. We found a guy upstairs that had a Belliver Union badge, and I have reason to believe that it was the mark that we were looking for, which is odd because we never found any trace of the guy or the money. So I'm wondering if he was either... I kind of assumed that he had set a trap for us originally, but now I'm thinking that he was just kind of caught collateral damage that was caught in the blast, either killed by the ghosts or killed by Hissy saving us, or he came back after the fact and something else horrible happened to him. I just don't know how we would have missed it. Even with all the commotion going on, I don't know he would have just vanished, or I think he locked himself in that closet, and at maybe a later point, maybe he came back for the money or something, and something happened to him. It doesn't quite make sense. Something's missing. We're missing a piece of the puzzle here.
Amiria steps up and says, Is this all some sort of fucking plan? What the fuck is all this? And Fergus... Go ahead.
I don't know if we were just in the wrong place at the wrong time, or we were... This mark was used to lure us here, but I mean, we weren't anyone special. There was no reason to bait us in anywhere. I have to think it was just an accident.
You see Fergus like shaking a little bit. He says,
We were set up! There's no way a fucking hooplehead doped out of his fucking mind did any of this shit.
But why us?
There's no fucking ghost stream. That's fucking deliberate.
I think you're right. And you said that the ghosts came from the floor.
They came out of the fucking floor.
Now, try to remember back, all of you. Did the ghosts look anything like the drawings on the walls?
Let me see. I'm very intelligent. Hold on.
and as he's kind of like heaving himself in, Amira's already jumped in and looked. And she said, and you kind of hear her voice kind of echoing in one of these compartments, and she says, I'll never forget that look for the rest of my life. That's exactly it.
So, the ghosts, allegedly, they look just like this.
They weren't that color. They were green and mystical fucking looking. But that was the face.
So, do you think that this is some kind of portal and they were summoned through? Why would they be drawn on the walls?
I hate to bring this up now, but Seamus, yeah, I gotta ask. I know that Belliver, we were working for Belliver off this tip, but where'd you find the tip for this job in the first place?
And you can kind of see that there's a look of realization, and he looks at you and he says, I was having a drink at the Mon Ami, and Belliver himself thought that I and my friends could help.
I just don't know why Belliver would want us all dead. We're missing something here. It doesn't make sense. I mean, we were no one. We were just a ragtag group of bounty hunters. We weren't anything special.
So what if he didn't want you dead, but he wanted Hissy? Because we know that Belliver is providing women every single night to LeBlanc. And now we know that Hissy might be with LeBlanc. And she supposedly died here. So what if the entire thing was just some kind of trick to get her?
Why not Emiria? Why not make sure the men are dead and take the women?
Because there's obviously something about Hissy that's important. There's no reason LeBlanc would potentially have her and all of a sudden be interested in Seluna.
And Seluna was Hissy's goddess before she died.
Who is a moon goddess.
Yes.
And I hate to say this, but you mentioned that it looked like moonlight.
It did.
So there's a connection to moonlight, there's a connection to Hissy, there's a connection to Belliver, and there's a connection to LeBlanc, and it all ties back to Hissy and that night. So I know that I don't speak sense most of the time, but when I do, gosh darn it, I'm good. Not to toot my own horn or anything.
Why? She was the most pure person in all of Glohaven.
Do we, out of character,
Yeah.
I'll ask. Do the symbol, so like during the masquerade and stuff,
Yeah.
were there like a lot of runes on the ground? Did we sort of see that LeBlanc used similar kinds of markings to do his magic?
I'll say that you saw. Make an intelligence check for me, actually.
Oh boy, that's where I'm not a Viking. 5.
It doesn't. It's kind of hard for you to remember. It doesn't look similar to you, but it's hard. I will say that it's probably was a very kind of tightness to LeBlanc's like runes that he had used, and there's a tightness, and these are kind of way more swoopy, so they don't really ring any kind of bell as far as a connection.
So, this is very interesting.
But why? Emiria is standing in the center. What the fuck is the rub?
We need to go to Belliver.
Whoa, pump the
No, we
brakes
don't.
here, pal.
Oh, we're going to Belliver. That's the best fucking idea you've had.
And what are we gonna do? Kill him? I mean, he's gonna try to kill
We
me.
might. He knows so much. He's in cahoots with all of this, and Alphonse is in here to protect him. Honestly, there's one man that if he gave you all the tip, and he's
I'll
delivering
give
women,
you the tip, Rodak.
he's delivering women to Alphonse nightly, and he sets you up.
Listen. Look, he's not a serpent, right?
Danielin gets
But he's
me.
still one of the most powerful people in the city. And we've just been crowned heroes. We can't go kicking off the doors of the Mon Ami and killing people.
No, I'm not
Well,
suggesting that.
I could put on my
We're not gonna have a choice.
I could put on my slut disguise again and try and get an interview to work as one of his ladies of the night.
Or perhaps we try to corner him at his place. We do it very sneaky-like. It's what you do best, Avantris.
I don't know. I think you're being a little reckless.
There's got to be something. And you see Emiria jump into one of these chambers, and she's just looking around. And it's like, is there anything else? And Fergus is shaking, and he goes up to Seamus, and he grabs him by the scruff here. Says,
You're the one that gave us that job. Did he even tell you why besides just getting his fucking money back?
and then Seamus is kind of looking at him and says,
No, I mean, that's all we were after. He wanted money, we wanted money. I just thought it'd be in and out.
Get easy, Fergus. Please.
Excuse me. And you see him pull out a jar out of his he unscrews it and he just grabs a Yulong's Banshee pepper. He's like, and he just eats. He's just devouring them. Excuse me. I can't believe there's no ghost stream. I can't believe I was wrong.
And we can't always all be right all the time. It happens. Let's just try to focus on what we're working on here.
Now, I have an idea that might not involve anyone threatening anyone. Over the last week or so, I spent quite a bit of time in the Monami, if you remember, and I was able to get quite a bit of information not from Belliver, but from that weaselly little guy. Leon, what if I go down and just try again, try to see if he knows anything about it at all? No one else has to come.
Just have to understand that you're walking into the lion's den. If you start asking too many questions, Belliver won't hesitate to kill you.
And perhaps you can stay stationed outside and I have my sending stone. But he was very free and very doped up, I believe, at the time. He's very free with his information, so if he knows anything at all, it's possible he would just tell me.
I just want to be clear here. This isn't me saying that I'm not up for a fight or that I don't think we can take Belliver. The problem is I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here, okay? It's just we've taken this into the hero category, and I'm trying not to bounty hunt and murder people anymore. I want to do Ganji proud, and I want to do the hero thing right, but this is bad. We tangle with Belliver, people are gonna die.
Well, and on top of that, we just got our house, and we just got our boat, and we just got the keys, and we're gonna have a moat, and I'm gonna start singing a song. Oh, I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. I'm I'm like just learning how to become a musician, and so sometimes I get overwhelmed.
It was alright.
Sorry. Anyway, we just got all that stuff, and if we start killing people who are important to this town, they're gonna take it all away.
We're not gonna kill anyone!
But if he attacks you, yes, you will kill him.
No one's going to attack me. I was able to get the fact that he...
So because you did it once, you can do it every time you want to. Pig-headed dwarf. No, you're not going.
Then...
You just have to keep in mind that when you start asking questions and talking about things you shouldn't know about, that people are going to notice. That's all.
And it's not like people don't know who you are. We literally just had a festival to us where we set up on a podium and literally everybody in town knows who you are. So maybe you got away with it before that, but you're sure as heck not getting away with it now.
That's a fair point.
Yeah, I know, because I'm not always stupid.
Not always.
Just 99.9% of the time. I'm good at math.
Well, let's finish up looking around. Every inch, let's look to see if we can find anything else. Let's tear apart the place.
Well, I've got to wait for Looney.
I also do have one idea. If we suspect that all of this is what we think it may be, and that Belliver may be at the bottom of all of this, then perhaps we go to the authorities and let Barrymore know. Maybe she can deal with it legally.
Avantris, I heard you say a lot of stupid fucking things in your life. But you think going into the elites with the military dogs and saying do some justice in the fucking world and that's gonna fucking work?
I don't like it either, and I don't like doing things by the book. You know me. But I feel like I'm kind of between a rock and a hard place here, Fergus.
But you know that she wouldn't even let Fergus out of jail when we asked, because she had to run it by LeBlanc. You think that she's gonna go and do any kind of reconnaissance with freaking what's-his-face Belliver without getting information or the go-ahead from LeBlanc? Not a chance. And if they're in cahootsies, do you think that that's gonna fly? Not a chance! Then all of a sudden they know that we know that they know that we know!
Well then, you let me know when you come up with a good idea, because I've expended about every option we've got here.
I say we go find Annulin's mom. I don't think we have enough right now.
You expect us to just walk away after all this?
Yeah.
Not a
because
chance.
We walked in here knowing Hissy might be alive, and now I think that we have even more proof that Hissy might be alive. And we weren't going to go running after her when we didn't have the information, so why would we go running after her now that we do have more information?
Because we have...
Because we have more information.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay, then let's go to Hogway. I don't see what the problem is.
I'm sick and fucking tired about Bella.
Well, that's great, but I'm not going to let your grudge
so
get me
much.
killed.
We're not... It's not a grudge.
Well, let me write it down, and it will be.
All
And I'm
right,
going to
it's
open up
fine.
my book and I'm going to write a page that says Belliver. Rodek has a grudge. Now Sylvie has a grudge. And that's all it's going to
At the
say.
very least, we can... That dope fiend, Leon, I'm telling you, we don't even have to be violent. Perhaps Seamus, perhaps you could go in.
That's not a bad idea.
Oh, no, I think it's a terrible idea.
You just listen to me now, Seamus. If you do this, at the slightest hint of danger, you get out of there. I'm not gonna lose you.
I'm willing to...
Your son Seamus in. He's lived here his whole life. Someone's gonna know him.
Well, they'll know.
I know, Leon.
We can disguise ourselves. We can make this work, but we can't just let this go.
Leon giving me information is not going to be out of the ordinary.
That's right.
You heroes are
Seamus
the...
is the information guy.
Leon is one of my... Whenever I needed anything and Belliver wasn't being very forthcoming, Leon always had something for me.
Now, do you think that if Leon was in on this, or knows about this, given that you're the one set up, would that stop him?
I don't know exactly what Belliver tells Leon.
What kind
Is
of
the
guy
thing.
is Leon?
He's...
Is he the type of guy that's going to be eternally loyal to someone just because of their history, or is he the kind of guy that could turn if the money's right?
He's motivated by greed and fear, and maintaining his high. I think if the fear is strong enough, no amount of coin will change that.
Well, I'm not opposed to you doing what you do best, as long as you take extra care. We can be close by. I'm not going to leave you twisting in the wind.
It's the least I can do. I'm not much in an all-out fight like you are. I can hold a knife to a powerless, obnoxious dandy, but I ain't good for a fight, but I can get some information.
Rodek, maybe you should just go like you've been going and just pose like you're enjoying yourself and keep an eye on him.
Well, and I can always send Lumi with you, and I can't do much, but any spells that I can do that require me to touch you, she can help me to do that for you, and that could get you out of a tight place.
I think with Lumi and with that sword thing, I should be plenty fine.
You'll be fine.
I'd be happy to find a spot across the street and just post up.
And he says, like, I think there's a little bit of fear in his voice, but there's a little bit that he's just calm, and he says, I think I can do it. And then you hear Mira calling, "Is anyone gonna help me fucking look in these things or not?"
All right, let's
All
try to
right,
put the
we got
place.
distracted. We can help. We'll help.
Okay, who wants to make an investigation check with advantage?
I'll do it.
Okay.
I'll jump in. I'm looking.
Uh, 17.
17? Okay. So as you are investigating, you look around and you're looking around every single kind of like nook and cranny of this place. And I needed to know which, so there's 4 posts basically. I need to know who's in what.
I'll be in the one that I uncovered originally.
Okay?
I'll be in the first one that Amiria uncovered.
Okay. Banders. Oh,
Whichever one I think.
Wherever they tell me to go.
Okay.
Because I'm just seeing this now. and they're the ones who uncovered it. So
Okay, so
I'll
I'm
take direction.
gonna say that you're all getting assisted. So I need the so you made your investigation check. I need both of you to make your investigation check too, and Amir's gonna make her investigation check.
20.
6.
Miria's, you could hear her getting frustrated, like fucking ghost faces. And as she climbs up Vandris, you have your eyes of minute seeing down.
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
It's a magical item, right?
Oh, well, I don't know if it requires attunement, but either way. So you don't have your eyes of minute seeing. Either way.
I assume that it required attunement. I don't remember.
We'll figure that out. So you're investigating, and you see a floorboard, and there's a little bit of a splinter towards the side, and something sparks, catches your eye that looks familiar. You reach down.
It is not attunement.
It's not attunement, so you can even be wearing them. So you have your eyes.
Alright, cool.
And you find a long, elegant black thread of silk.
I shout to Sylvie and I say, we found another thread.
I knew that they were important. Vandris, does it look like the type of silk that you would see on Alphonse? Because this is just screaming Alphonse.
To be fair, I didn't get that close to him, but maybe someone else here can take a look.
Here. Miria steps up. Takes it. I've been in costuming long enough to know that this is from some kind of dress. Men don't wear this fabric.
Oh no, what if it's that woman that he's with?
The widow.
The widow.
Hands it back.
Yeah, what if it's the widow?
That's not what I said.
Yeah.
I said
what
it's
if
the widow.
Yeah, what if it's the widow?
No, that's not what I said. I said widow.
Yes. The widow that he's with. Fear the widow. Andy.
Well, so do you think that what you found the same one upstairs?
The widow is a whammon.
There was a black thread of silk in the closet with the decomposing corpse.
Oh, that would make sense. Because a woman's dress would trail, and it could easily get caught on splinters of wood or nails or other things. That's why anytime I was little, I always picked it up when I walked around.
Well, everyone...
That sounds exactly right. And you see your eyes kind of like look dark back and forth and says, that's expensive. That's good stuff.
Oh my god, it's the widow's dress.
Now, do we know it's black?
What?
A widow would wear black if she was mourning. When Rodak put that together.
I don't see why he wouldn't.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Hold.
Guys, in the time when the widow's husband died, was that around the time that all of this happened?
It's a great question. I honestly don't know.
Seamus, you would know, right? You know everything that happens in this town. Would the widow have been widowing at that time?
It's hard to think of it more, but I think Rommel met his end not too long before that.
Curses!
Oh no!
It may have been a year. It may have been shorter.
The widow. She's the Dracula. She turned LeBlanc into a Dracula, and now they want hissy for her moon powers.
Hey, hold on.
What if they're trying to use her to find some way to walk in the daylight, like a daytime Dracula?
We have our problems are mounting here very quickly.
Oh my
okay?
gosh.
Listen, if we've just been crowned heroes by this city, and
Yes.
everybody's under Alphonse's thumb, and he turns out to be some evil bastard, what are we gonna do when the entire town who loves this guy turns on us? This is gonna get out of hand real quick.
Well, that's why we have to not tell anybody what we knows. No one can knows that we knows it.
It's right.
At this time, Lumi, Lumi communes with you.
Yeah. So
and
she would be
says
standing
that
with him.
She is with Orpheus in the dungeon.
Okay, just give me a moment, guys.
And so I'm going to give him like the most like descriptive image of what these things look like and ask him if he has heard of anything like that and if he knows anything about the widow. But she'll say widow because she was just fucking with Rodek.
So Lumi, you speak through Lumi.
Yeah, I can speak
So
through and he can
sitting
respond
there
back
and
to
he
me.
says, oh, this is so creepy.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
It's-
But we have these questions, and I might be able to get you moved into a better room if you can help.
As soon as he thinks about it, he runs his tongue over his teeth. Well,
Oh, and also there was a dead guy upstairs who had the same weird look on his face.
that
Oh, and we found some silk.
wouldn't you know it? That does sound familiar.
Oh, thank God.
The silk, no, I didn't know. What? The markings sound like the techniques of the necromancy school of Anzu.
Oh boy, that's dead magic right there.
Yes, by definition, that's what it was.
Yeah, I know, I'm agreeing with
I
you.
snooped around when I was new to my newfound powers, and
I didn't know you
found
were a
nothing.
newt. That's interesting. Tell me more.
Some have tried to turn me into one, but that's not important.
Okay, well, keep telling me the important stuff.
I saw markings very similar.
What do they do exactly? Do you know?
I know that they're used in necromancy spells, and that's all I've got for you. And it seems to be a particular technique. At least I'd noticed that they use it in Anzu, in the necromancy school.
Okay. Well, Orpheus, that is at least more than we knew. And so I will convene with the dudes, El Duderinos, also known as the Pussy Posse. And, yeah, it's a new name. Don't worry about it. And I'll see if we can get you into a better room, okay?
Whatever you can do.
Okay, bye, Orpheus.
Okay,
If you
I'm going
think
back
of
to...
if you think of anything else, you know, I guess just tell me when I come back, because you don't have any magic, so you can't
Okay,
really
is
do
anyone
anything
going
about
to
it.
feed me?
Yeah, before she leaves, I'll have Lumi tell one of the guys upstairs to bring you some food.
That would be great.
Okay, thanks, Orpheus. Bye!
Bye. Bye.
Pussy Posse out!
And then Sylvie's gonna come back.
Lumi teleports back.
So, Orpheus said that it's necromancy magic. Oh, by the way, I sent Lumi to ask him. I figured since he knew magic and stuff.
How does he know?
Because it's the same kind of stuff that they utilized at the necromancy school in Anzu. He snooped around there when he was learning how to be a newt.
I have far too many places on our list of places to visit. I don't like this at all.
Well, Anzu was on our list of places to go, so it really isn't an additional one. It just puts it high up on the list of where we should go in what order.
Are there any necromancy schools in Gulhaven? Or schools of magic at all?
I mean, the Bardic school's obviously school about magic, but
How do they teach that stuff? Isn't that like evil hocus pocus?
well, not always. Like, you know, some people use the powers of dead stuff to do good things, I'm sure. But regardless, I don't think that's what was used here. This was definitely some kind of dead people magic.
I don't mess around. I told you that elites were not God-fearing folk. I told you, Avantris.
So now, the questions we have to ask. When was the last time the widow was in, or was she ever in Anzu? Did she go to school there? Is it possible that she learned necromancy before she moved here, married the guy, killed him, used her necromancy magic while she was widowing as a widow to come in here and do this stuff, steal Hissy, convene with what's-his-face to get girls sent over to Alphonse LeBlanc. She turned him into a Dracula. He fed on women. And now Hissy is teaching him how to become a daytime Dracula. So those are all the questions we need to answer.
Wait, so you think that, well, we got kind of a chicken and egg scenario here. We don't know whether or not Alphonse had influence over Laudna or vice versa. You seem to think that Laudna may have had influence over Alphonse?
Well, that is my concern. Now, Seamus, maybe you can answer this better than I can. The first one of the Silver Serpents to die was the widow's husband, wasn't it? And then from there, it was, my new husband, what's his name? It was his parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John and Wendy.
Yeah, so if the first one to die was the widow's husband, then it makes sense that she then joined up with Alphonse, something happened with him, and now they're in it together. So my
You
thought...
think Alphonse killed her husband?
No, I think she killed her husband, and then I think that she turned, because she realized the power that he had, she turned Alphonse into a Dracula or something, because she's a necromancer. We obviously know that now. Wedos are necromancers. And so then all the other stuff happened. But I think they're in cahoots. Or he doesn't really want to be a Dracula and she's threatening him. But either way, we definitely know she's evil because Alphonse doesn't wear a dress, and he was not mourning the loss of his husband. And so
What if
it's
you
like,
have it wrong? What if she didn't kill him, but she was trying to bring him back?
well, then that would be a very sad thing, as I've been sitting here cursing her in my head.
I just don't think we should jump to conclusions. There's so many unknowns here.
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to tell you what is happening in my head right now.
Well,
Appreciate it. I like to hear what you're thinking.
Emiria stands, gets out of whatever one she was in, and she kind of dusts herself off. And she looks around and she says, well, I'm going Agwe.
Whoa. I appreciate you as a free-thinking
good
human
idea.
being, but I would appreciate it if you didn't just charge into anything alone.
You're more than welcome. I have a bunch of crocodiles on a fucking ship. They'll apparently take me wherever I want to go.
That's true. That's very true, and I'm not going to try to stop you directly, but we should maybe have a conversation first and figure out what our steps should be before anyone charges in alone.
Okay. Can we please do it back out of here, please?
Sure, do you want to come to our house? We can have dinner there. We've got a giant room where all of us can eat and sit around the table and talk.
That sounds better than my shitty apartment.
alright, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm done. I never need to see this place again. I'd say we burn it to the fucking ground, but that'll probably burn down the entire Kench, and
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
yeah, no, I'm not that much of a bitch.
Yeah, well,
And
We should... Are there any boards that we can board the place back up? To make it look like we were never here.
I mean, Fergus destroyed a ton of things. There's splinters all over the room. I'm sure we could easily do that.
I absolutely devastated that floor.
Yeah, Fergus, could you collect some boards and then just repair the door?
Okay, collecting boards. Okay, hold on. I think I can find some nails here. He kind of lines the nails.
and so
Every time he does it and little blood comes off,
Yeah.
Sylvie heals him.
Oh no, his whole hand, even in prison, he has calluses on almost every inch of his body.
Dwarfs,
Hair
am I
and
right?
calluses all over him.
It's the man of
And
calluses.
so he just it is like the sloppiest mess. He's like, I hate the elites and their God-loathing evil. I feel the evil all around me in this place. I need to get out of here. And then
Get the door on our way out.
yeah. And so like Seamus puts his hand on Fergus's shoulder and he says, "Okay, friend, you gotta calm down. There is evil here, and it's real evil we need to take seriously. And I am taking it seriously." And so he calms down a little bit. And so he finishes punching all of the boards. It looks very sloppy, but as you leave, he finishes. And then Emiria just gives it one last look, and she walks off ahead of you, down away from the Kench, and you all follow. And that is where we'll end the session.
Tum tum tum.
A night.
Well, thank you
Wedo.
guys for staying up with us. That took a turn. So, good stuff, guys.
It was the Wedo.
We learned some shit.
So, D.E. Lightful, thank you so much for tuning in. Back-to-back Prime sessions. We are doing Feywilds. It feels like it's Wednesday. It's not. It's Monday. I'm going to keep reminding myself. I'm going to be really bummed when I go into work tomorrow and it's not Thursday. Because then it would be Otakon I'm missing, so that'd actually be great. So we will be at Otakon. If you're in the DC area, please come hang out with us. Come say hi. And you're going to Otakon. If not, we'll see you Wednesday. And I don't know if we're rating anybody, but
Yeah,
I think we're going to rate somebody. We are still working on getting the next session of Beneath Dark Wings on the books. Hopefully you had as much fun as we did on that Saturday. We're hoping to get back as soon as possible. It's just a matter about scheduling 7 people all in one place is really difficult. So we're going to make sure that we let you know as soon as we know, and then we'll inform you. And we're going to raid somebody.
Yep, we're gonna raid old Random Encounter Productions. They're
Yeah.
good. They raid
They're
us.
fantastic. They're really great people. Please spread the love of the Avantris fan. If you have them, flash your hooters. And you know.
And if you have them, flash your
Yeah.
Grammys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Join us in Discord.
Yes, come hang in Discord.
We have a lot of fun there. And
Anyway, we're signing off. See you guys. Love you.
Bye.